Here with the Varsity Sports Show. Here with my lovely crew out here at Saguaro High School in Scottsdale, Arizona. And we are here for a big matchup between the Saguaro Sabercats, and the Corona del Sol Aztecs. And these are two teams sitting at 0 and 4 who hungry might not be the right term to describe. Starving may not even be the right term to describe how needy these teams are of a win and how these teams are striving for a win. Very uncharacteristic to see Saguaro at that 0 and 4 mark. This program has kind of taken a turn as they are in their second year of the post Jason Moans era, as he headed off to ASU to coach tight ends for Coach Kenny Dillingham right up the road. But last year they showed out some promise of continuing their success under Zach Hill, but in February he took off to ALA Gilbert North to be an administrator, and they brought on Darius Kelly, who I believe was one of the better hires of this offseason, and I have full confidence in him in rebuilding this program into what it usually is and what we're all used to seeing from Saguaro. But nonetheless, just some struggles from Saguaro so far this season. They've run a gauntlet with ALA Week 1, Mountain View, Basha. They had a team from California last week. And we all know how different the ball is over in California with the powerhouses they have out there. But nonetheless, Saguaro is definitely a hungry team, and I wouldn't be too alarmed by that 0 and 4 record. This team is not too far off from maintaining their success, as they handed the reins off to freshman quarterback Zealand Danielson, who only has 4 passing touchdowns on the season with 2 rushing touchdowns. He has a QBR of 63.3. Honestly, not too bad with a 59.7 completion percentage as well. Not too bad from what you would see from a freshman quarterback, true freshman. Definitely some room for improvement, but having a freshman at the reins of your varsity program like Saguaro is definitely a testament to the kid himself, and probably a big role for him as he starts to settle in, as they're only in their 5th game of the season. So very young season as we move along in the progress of competitive football around the state of Arizona. Corona del Sol themselves, they also sit at a 0 and 4 record, as they also ran a gauntlet. They played Chandler last week, helmed by Rick Garrettson. They saw Pinnacle a couple weeks ago, Apple Valley in week 2, and Casa Grande in a shootout thriller in week 1. Their offense runs through Dominic Ruiz, the number 1, the wide receiver, who has 7 touchdowns. He leads the team, 251 yards receiving as he leads the team as well. He averages 62.8 yards per game, which also leads the team. Very electric player, Ruiz, as they headed in with their quarterback Luke Farrell, who is also a sophomore. So another young quarterback on the other side of the field, who's throwing at about 54% completion percentage. His stats kind of align with Danielson of Saguaro. 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 589 yards passing on the year compared to Danielson's 861. With a 87.1 QBR, though, is definitely a stat that stands out. This the offense is definitely taken a front seat in football all around at all levels, but definitely here in Arizona, talking with a head coach that was around a few months ago, definitely takes time in creating an offense and bringing on coaches that can help dynamic offenses, as there are so many around the state of Arizona. Me personally, I called a few games of Horizon for the past couple weeks in the beginning of the season, and that is also a dynamic offense as well, helmed by Tyson Ditmore, the head coach. But a lot of dynamic offenses, a lot of electric football around the state of Arizona as it continues to trickle up the ranks in top football markets around the nation. I would say it was just right there behind, the obviously dominant markets of Texas and California, which I heard another head coach around the state say that is just a different deal with how they play ball out there. But Arizona teams have been able to compete with some of those schools. Chandler, Saguaro is one, as they played a Californian school last week. Other schools have also ventured out to California and also hosted schools out here. as we're getting ready to have Corona del Sol take the field, as they're getting ready to take on the SaberCats here tonight. Definitely a big matchup here. Lot of excitement and a lot of storylines heading into this game, and a lot of question marks heading into this game as well. Corona del Sol is definitely a coveted program around the state of Arizona, as they hail from Tempe, Arizona, just a couple minutes up the road. But definitely not as big as a program as Saguaro. As we all know, Saguaro's success, they are, I would argue that their success kind of helped implement the now open division championship that we are now used to now in the state of Arizona, as far as that championship division. Their success from the 4A level really inspired, as the SaberCats are getting ready to take the field for their Week 5 matchup. And these guys are definitely they definitely have some swagger about them, as we saw head coach Darius Kelly, who we are going to see, who was interviewed by our field correspondent Olivia Prickett, which we are going to pass it off to now.
Olivia Prickett with the Varsity Sports Show. I'm here with Saguaro head coach Darius Kelly. Now, what have been some positives in practice that you're going to implement in tonight's game?
And we are back. We'd like to thank our field correspondent Olivia Prickett with catching up with head coach Darius Kelly pregame to set that up for you guys out here at home. As we are getting closer and closer to kickoff here, the Saguaro SaberCats are getting ready to run out of the tunnel to make their grand entrance here for their Week 5 game against the Corona del Sol Aztecs. And here are the SaberCats taking the field here tonight. As I said before we cut to the interview, they have quite a bit of swagger. They were really energized pregame as they were warming up. Definitely a testament to head coach Darius Kelly, who, as I said earlier, was definitely a top hire for me this offseason. Definitely a guy that you want to helm your program as you kind of head into the soft rebuild, as I would see it. This team is energized, and this team is definitely electric. 15-23 is their total yards on offense heading into this game. They have a lot of offensive weapons in Adam Whitaker, Mason Whitaker, Elias Johnson, who averages 48 yards per game. Oliver Gibson is another receiver that is a big weapon for this team. This team has a lot of weapons as we are getting ready for the national anthem, and the kickoff is on the other end.
Hi, this is Kaylee Sumner with Varsity Sports Show, and I'm going to be talking about Arizona Christian Honors West Valley High School basketball team during championships. Arizona Christian men's basketball team faced St. Catherine's out of California at home Friday at 6 p.m. in the first round of the NAIA tournament. It is the second year in a row that the ACU is hosting the first two rounds at home. At 3 p.m. on Friday, the winning scores against the two teams, Antelope Valley of California scored 26 out of 4, or 26 and 4. They played against Indiana Heritage, which was 21 and 9. So that's the score that they got for the game. Followed by ACU, they scored 23 out of 7 against St. Catherine's 23 to 8. Thank you so much for having me. This is Kaylee Sumner with the Varsity Sports Show, out.
And we are back here at Saguaro High School for our Week 5 matchup between Corona del Sol and the Saguaro SaberCats. We are getting just set for kickoff in the next few seconds here. Definitely a big question mark around the Saguaro SaberCats heading into this year. I bet you a lot of folks are really turning their head at that 0-4 record, maybe checking to see if it's a typo. That's just the reality of their season so far. I wouldn't panic too much. I kind of get a 2021 or beyond Arizona Wildcats vibe from this team. I feel like they have the right head coach in Darius Kelly, who has seen different levels of football as he used to play himself at Syracuse University with the ACC, which is definitely a competitive conference there. You see a lot of dynamic teams out there, Clemson, Florida State, those types of schools that are out there that see national success at the top of the food chain in Power 5 collegiate football. He's definitely the right man for the job, as was Jed Fish in rebuilding that Arizona program, who saw some dark days a couple of years ago. But this Saguaro team is definitely on the right track despite their performance so far in the season. And a thing you got to look at, too, is their opponents that they've had this year. ALA Queen Creek has really emerged as a top competitor among the open division in Arizona. Basha as well. They won the state championship a couple of years ago. Definitely a top program. Mountain View has really been quietly building some success out in Mesa, Arizona. And like I said, they had a Chaminade from California last week. And we've already touched on how those California schools fare. Definitely a very interesting game here tonight. I'm very curious to see how the Aztecs are going to come out. Their offense has come out with 1,483 total offensive yards heading into this game. Their defense is very dynamic as well, led by Devin Scholl, the free safety, 29 tackles. Tyson Aaron, a corner, 18 total tackles. Number 0, Amari Smallwood, another corner who is a senior, 18 total tackles as well. This team, even though they seem to allow a lot of points, you got to look at their schedule as well. You know, Pinnacle is a top school around here in Scottsdale. We all know their past success, how they like to bring a high level of football into their games. Chandler, I'm pretty sure anybody who is familiar with Arizona high school football is familiar with as well, helmed by head coach Rick Garrettson. That team is definitely one of the top programs out here in Arizona. And Corona del Sol has really tried to rebuild their reputation as well within the past few years, helmed by their head coach Jake Barrow. This team is also held by a young quarterback, 589 yards, as we said earlier, Luke Farrell, a sophomore, very young quarterback, has 2 years left to develop and become the savior of this program. A lot of pressure put on quarterbacks in football nowadays, even at the level of high school football, especially out here in Arizona. Very competitive, very high-paced, very cutthroat type of ball out here in Arizona. That's just a testament of any level of football, from college and the NFL, no matter your age. And we are going to we're going to cut to our Corona del Sol head coach interview with field correspondent Olivia Prickett and head coach Jake Barrow.
Olivia Prickett with the Varsity Sports Show. I'm here with head coach of Corona del Sol, Jake Barrow. Now, you guys have had a tough heat so far, but what have you guys practiced in practice to prepare for tonight's game?
You know, just cleaning up everything. We need to be more efficient with the football offensively. We can't turn the ball over. We need to be effective running the ball, and then on defense, we have to tackle. It's really down to the basic fundamentals of everything. We need to be physical at the point of attack and make sure tackles.
With that, what would you say is the main motivation for tonight to go out and take a win?
Well, I think, you know, we're at the midway point of the season, right? So right now we're very young. Everybody's kind of learning and coming into their own. But now at the midway point of the season, we want to start to turn the corner a little bit. And so the biggest, I think, motivation tonight to try to get a win is just that. You know, let's go into our bye week off a win and go into region play off a win.
And we are back here with the Varsity Sports Show live at Saguaro High School as we are getting ready. We are still moments away from kickoff here as we are impatiently waiting to get this game started. If you ask me, I think this is one of the top games that we're going to see this week. Two hungry teams, and those are the most dangerous teams in football, any level that you talk about, as the teams are getting ready to take the field here, as it looks like we're going to see a taste of this Corona del Sol offense as we get started. And, we get a taste of this Saguaro defense that really looks like they have something to prove. Led by Garrett Martin, their defensive end, who has 2.5 sacks, the senior. This team, they've allowed quite a few points, but as I said earlier, you got to look at the teams that they played, and I have some confidence that this defense will definitely take a step up in this game, as they will probably, as the kick is off, and it is a bobbled kick and fielded just before the 25-yard line, and he's going to be brought down at the 29-yard line of Corona del Sol. That kick was fielded by wide receiver Jamar Patterson on the kick, so 29-yard line is going to be the starting point for this Corona del Sol offense as they head into this game. Like I said earlier, 1,483 total yards of offense, helmed by Luke Farrell and Dominic Ruiz, two dynamic players, two young players. Dominic Ruiz, the senior, leads the team in 62.8 yards per game receiving. And Luke Farrell with an 87.1 QBR heading into this game, as we have two receivers underneath. Jet motion across, and is going to be a handoff. And it is going to be a gain of about 5 on the play for Corona del Sol. And, definitely something that offenses like to do at any level is you really want to establish your run game early on and try to find a rhythm for your offense. First drives, you really want to keep it semi-conservative. Some teams, as we've seen, like to take a couple shots as two receivers underneath for Corona del Sol. They look like they have a wing underneath, and it's going to be a reverse play to their tight end, and he's going to find some room outside, and there's going to be a flag on the play, but nonetheless, he crossed the 45-yard line. That is going to be number 5. Don't have a number on there for a number 5 on the Corona del Sol roster. Apologies. But it is going to come back anyways, as it looks like there's going to be a hold on Corona del Sol. And definitely an interesting design there, kind of a reverse play call to your tight end. Definitely not really something that we see very often. I mean, we've seen a lot of misdirection. It's kind of been the name of offensive football recently. But, we've gotten motion on some plays from Corona del Sol so far, and I'm looking to see that they are going to come back to that as they are lined up again for their second down play. Two receivers underneath, jet motion. That is number 1, Dominic Ruiz, who's going to take the jet sweep, and he's going to bounce outside, but he has quite a few followers, and he's going to be brought down for a loss. Number 10, Elijah Jackson, was there to sniff that out, the sophomore. Very well done. Very nice job finding your run fits for Saguaro to bring him down for a loss. And looks like Corona del Sol is going to bring out some misdirection early, as we saw with that reverse play on the holding call. And it looks like we had a penalty on Saguaro that is actually going to cost them some yardage and negate that a defensive stop and bring Corona del Sol up to the 44-yard line, it looks like, on the field for a first down. And it looks like they're going to come back to two receivers underneath with Dominic Ruiz lined up wide. And they've come out in that look with the tight end kind of lined up as a wing over top, and they have one tailback. Curious to see. They're going to have a shuffle motion outside to line up the tight end wide. It's going to be the snap. Farrell drops back. He's going to pump, but he is going to be swallowed up and sacked behind the line by number 21. It looks like Kydell Stone. Very nice play there, as the offensive line of Corona del Sol could not hold up against this Saguaro defense. And that's going to bring up another big loss for the Aztecs as we get a 2nd and 17 on the play. Another interesting design in the use of motion there by Corona del Sol on that play, as we have a stoppage, as it looks like there looks to be a discrepancy of Kydell Stone, who just made that big play, as he's got to come off possibly for the height of his knee pads, which, yes, is a rule here in high school sports. He is going to be subbed out by number 19, Delonte Foley, out on the edge. And there's going to be another handoff there. Possibly number 9, Kian Abril. And another example of that that misdirection that Corona del Sol has been using so far, as they go back to that reverse concept, bringing the tight end across, which is an interesting design there for this offense, and it's going to bring up a Corona del Sol third down, as that was only a gain of 1. So a 3rd and 16 for this Aztecs offensive operation, as they're coming out with a spread, as we have another stoppage on the field, and it looks to be another uniform discrepancy for Saguaro. Number 10, Elijah Jackson, is going to have to come out, and Delonte Foley is going to take his place on the over top outside boundary and line up wide at corner. Trips over top for Corona, and one underneath with a tailback right next to their quarterback Farrell. And double A gap lineup for Saguaro, as Farrell's going to line up and roll out, and that is going to be knocked away. Big play there by number 12, Aiden Whitaker, on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down, so kind of an awkward drive to start off this game, but Saguaro's defense really steps up and gets the Aztecs offensive operation off the field, as Corona del Sol is going to have to be bringing out their punting unit to get this Saguaro offense out on the field to get their first look of the game. And they're punting at about the 39-yard line. Return man lined up at the 25-yard line. There are early flags out on the field that is going to be fielded and bobbled, and that is going to be recovered by Corona del Sol at about the 35-yard line of Saguaro. And there was a penalty flag early out on that play, right as soon as the kick was sent off. So hang on here. We might have a call, but the ball is going to stay the spot. And it is a sideline warning against Saguaro. So Corona del Sol will be able to hold on to the football and make a special teams play early as they take over at the 36-yard line of Saguaro. Definitely an early miscue that you don't want to see for Saguaro out here, but we aren't able to see their offensive operation just yet, as Luke Farrell and this Corona del Sol offense is going to take back over, and they're lined up heavy. 2 receivers underneath, and it's going to be play action, bubble screen, kind of an RPO design to number 7, Jamar Patterson, and he's going to be swallowed up and brought down. Pass complete to number 2. For a loss on the play. That would say it looks like a loss of 1 or 2. Nice RPO design there for Corona del Sol. Definitely more of a normality for football in 2024, as you see RPOs trickle down from the NFL to college, and now we're seeing them more prominent here in high school ball, as they're lining up again with heavy personnel. 2 receivers underneath, 1 running back lined up over top, jet motion. It's going to be a jet zone fake play for a gain of just a few on this that second down play, and that is going to bring him just over the 35-yard line. And that ball is going to be spotted about the 33-yard line for this 3rd down and 8. And another example of the use of motion for Corona del Sol. Definitely becoming more of a talking point for offenses at any level, as we've seen it become have more dynamic variations of it with the cheetah motion, exit motion, tear motion. Definitely use of the jet motion there, and that is going to be Farrell is going to throw it high, incomplete, as he had some defenders in his face, and that is going to bring up a 4th down as this drive stalls. But hang on, we have some flags and helmets off on the field, so hang on. Penalty on the play. That is number 22, Brady Cochran. Helmet came off on that play, so he has to come out for 1 play as we await the flag the penalty flag call from the referees here at Saguaro. And definitely an inaccurate pass there by Luke Farrell, the quarterback of Corona del Sol, as it was just a little high for his receiver as he tried to push it to the outside boundary. But nonetheless, this drive is going to stall, and it's going to be a personal foul on Saguaro, which is going to keep this drive alive. Second time that we've seen penalties extend a Corona del Sol drive. And this time it's going to push them in the red area just inside the 20-yard line, as they're going to be positioned at the 18 with 7 minutes left in this first quarter at Saguaro High School. So Corona del Sol is going to come knocking on the door. Curious to see what design they're going to have here. They've had fake jet sweeps, RPO concepts, reverses, and they're looking to expand their playbook here in this second drive, and it is going to be a handoff outside. And it is going to be, the ball came loose, and that could be Saguaro's ball to take advantage of. And yes, it will. So Saguaro gets a big break out here inside the 10-yard line, forcing that ball out, and there is no review in high school ball, so that is going to stand no matter what. So big break from Saguaro, righting their wrongs. And they're going to take over to bring out their offensive operation, helmed by Zealand Danielson, to start this game off with their backs against the wall, I will add, as they come in inside the 10-yard line. So a lot of ground to make up, but we are ready to see this Saguaro offense, myself included, as I am curious to see how this freshman quarterback, Zealand Danielson, is going to operate this offense here for Saguaro. Definitely a coveted offense. We all know some of the alumni. Just a couple guys you may have heard of. Christian Kirk of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's emerged as one of their top receivers for Trevor Lawrence. Byron Murphy coming out. He's on the defensive side of the ball. But Keely Ringo as well, who was highly successful and highly recruited out of Saguaro. Just to name a few of the alumni that we've had here at Saguaro. All are playing in the NFL now in high-level roles. And looking to add to some of that success here is this 2024 squad, who is already facing a lot of adversity, and not only this game but in the season. Very curious to see how this offense is going to come out, as we are waiting for them to take the field, as the refs are looking like they're discussing something out on the field. Or we are waiting for a commercial return, as this game is also at a halt here, as we were wondering. It actually looks like it could be a discussion between the refs. And got to wonder what they're talking about. Maybe ball placement, or maybe a ball use error. And nonetheless, here we go. We are ready for this SaberCats offense to take the field, as they're going to take over at about the, what looks like the 7-yard line. But backs against the wall, they are deep in their own territory. Definitely zeroes the margin of mistakes for any operation, as Zealand Danielson is going to take over. They're lined up in a pistol formation, 2 receivers on each side. It's going to be a toss play to the short side of the field, and he's going to break loose, and he's going to reach the yard marker just before the 20-yard line for a first down Saguaro on that play. Very nice design there as they come out in a spread 2x2 set, and they use a little crack toss play to the short side of the field. Definitely creates a lot of traffic, as they are wasting no time. Trips over top, 2 underneath in an empty set. Looks to be a double stick set. Danielson's going to roll out, air it out, and that is just over the head of number 9, Grant Williams, as it looks like they were kind of adapting a hurry-up offense, tempo offense, as some programs like to call it, NASCAR. Keep it going fast, fast, fast. Offensive pace for Saguaro, but the incompletion is going to halt that for just a second, as they're getting ready for the next play call on the sideline, as they get the signals. Double stick play on that first down play is going to bring up a second down. They come down in a condensed set, 2x2 tight set, and it is going to be a handoff. Interesting design there, as they had their 2 receivers pull to the inside, and that's just going to be a gain of quite a few, as the Corona del Sol defense was there to stall that play, as they are already wasting no time, Saguaro, in getting this next play off, their 3rd and 9 play. As they're awaiting their play call, but they're already in their set. Trips underneath, one over top, with a tailback standing right next to their quarterback, Danielson. And Danielson's going to take the snap. Pressure coming hot from Corona del Sol, and that ball is just going to be off target, intended for number 4, Mason Whitaker. So the big run on first down proves to be the only highlight of this drive, as this drive for Saguaro is going to stall out and force a punt. So the ball is going to go right back to the Corona del Sol Aztecs, as Saguaro is going to punt imminently. And we get the third look for Luke Farrell and this Corona del Sol offense. Definitely have implemented some misdirection, a lot of different running selections, a lot of motion, as Corona's looking to field it. Their return man is just about the 39-yard line. And it is going to be a big punt, and it's going to be a fair catch at the 42-yard line, which is where this Corona del Sol operation is going to start on this drive, their 3rd drive of the game. As we have some whistles on the field. Don't see any flags on the play, but excuse me, we do have a penalty on the play as we are awaiting that call. A lot of penalties so far early on in this game, as it's going to be a false start for Saguaro. So it's going to be a re-kick here and back them up 5 yards to possibly boost the field position for the 3rd drive of the Aztecs. And a lot of penalties, as I said. Definitely some things that you don't want to see as a head coach in any form of football. Mistake-free football is definitely a testament, a rule of thumb that you have to live by in any program that you play in. Got to play sound football, as we have more whistles out on the field, as it looks like the 2 sides are going to be vacating to their sidelines, as looks like we have another timeout, possibly a lot of stoppages as well here in this game early on, as it looks like the refs are going to condense in the middle of the field around the spot of the ball and discuss something. Not really too sure. Don't really see any penalty flags on the play.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Saguaro SaberCat Football Foundation would like to thank our
As
2024 SaberCat.
As I was saying before, this 3rd drive for Corona del Sol could be a further opening of their playbook. A lot of coaches like to adapt a conservative attempt at their offense in their 1st and 2nd drives, as we've already seen from Corona del Sol, as their offense is kind of progressing. They've seen jet sweeps. We've seen a couple reverses. We've seen an RPO. And then just at the tail end of that last drive, we saw a high pass that was incomplete. But curious to see if they're going to air it out more with their sophomore quarterback, Luke Farrell, who, as I said at the beginning of the broadcast, has 589 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Possibly looking to boost his completion percentage, just sitting at 54%, which is just over the line of 50%, which is definitely you want to be over 50%, but not really too close to it. A lot of coaches have stated that 60% is an ideal standing point for your quarterback, but nonetheless, curious to see what they're going to bring out here, as that punt is going to be high and short on the re-kick, and it's going to take a couple bounces towards the just shy of the 40-yard line of Saguaro. So really, really ideal, really advantage of field position here for the Aztecs, as they're going to take over in the plus territory. And another deficit for the Saguaro defense, who made a big stand in the red zone in that last drive, capitalizing off a penalty that could have put Corona del Sol in a position to score, as they punched out the ball and were able to force a turnover, which is definitely something that you hope for in your defense, as many have probably saw last night. Dallas Cowboys forced a late turnover to seal the game. Turnovers are definitely a beneficial thing, as it's going to be a handoff outside, and it's going to be a big gain, and he's going to break loose, as some Saguaro players are going to wrestle him down, and we have another penalty flag on that play. So hang on. Looks like the runner was down, but it looks like he was grabbed from the neck collar area as he was being brought down. So possibly a horse collar call on this play. Hang on just a sec as we await the final call from our head official here at Saguaro as he looks to discuss with his fellow officials on what they saw. That penalty came roaring over from the middle of the field, so curious to see what this call is going to be. And there will be no call. They were going to wave the flag as there ended up not being a penalty on that play. So just before the 20-yard line, about the 21, 22-yard line, will be the starting point for the next set of downs for the Corona del Sol Aztecs, as we are here live with the Varsity Sports Show. 5:41 and counting left in the first quarter, as they're going to have doubles. It looks like it's going to be a trips attached over top, and it looks to be kind of an RPO style play, as he's going to be wrestled down for a sack. Very nice job there by the Saguaro defense. Forcing a sack on an RPO is definitely not an easy task, as it looked to be an RPO glance play with a kind of a glance slant route over top, but Farrell didn't even have time to get through his read, as he pulled it and was immediately wrestled down for a loss of 5 on the play to bring up 2nd and 15 for the Aztecs. And as I said, we are now under 5 minutes left in the first quarter here at Saguaro High School. Beautiful night, definitely a warm one for the final days of September, but nonetheless, Farrell's going to it's going to be a handoff, and he's going to cross the 25-yard line and be brought down for a short gain here on this warm night, warmer than you would expect here at a late September night in what is now the fall season here in Arizona. And we really don't get the fall season out here, as we were in the triple digits for most of the day today. Still a little bit warm, but cooling off now that the sun is down and the lights are bright here on a Friday night, which is all right for a fight, as Farrell's going to drop back, and it's going to be a deep throw, and it's going to be caught. Wow, what a play. And that is going to be a touchdown for Corona del Sol, and we have some penalty flags on the play, possibly for excessive celebration. So hang on. What a throw there by Luke Farrell, putting it over the defender in the back corner of the end zone. Definitely want to push that back pylon on that play. Beautifully done by the Corona del Sol offense, as they are going to break through the first wall of this game and throw 6 on the board midway through the first quarter of this game. And yes, that penalty will be enforced on Corona del Sol, backing up their PAT attempt, as they look to tack on one more after that long touchdown pass. As yes, it was a excessive celebration, unsportsmanlike conduct call on Corona del Sol. 3:58 left in the first quarter, and that was the timing of the first touchdown of the game. The 6th touchdown of the year for Luke Farrell, the sophomore, as the PAT is going to be up and good. And definitely a turn of events here for the Corona del Sol Aztecs, as their offense has only scored 18 points within the last 2 weeks. So they get on the board early and throw 7 on there early on in this game against Saguaro. And now curious to see what the Saguaro offense has queued up for their response, as we barely saw what they were capable of, as their drive was quick, their only drive so far in this game. And their freshman quarterback, Zealand Danielson, he had a couple overthrows, just definitely getting settled into this game so far. Want to see them lean into their run game a little bit more, possibly. Their running back, Elias Johnson, only averages 48.5 yards per game. And that penalty was actually enforced on the kickoff, so forcing Corona del Sol to kick off on the 25-yard line, possibly opening up a field position opportunity to get this second drive for the SaberCats at some good field position. And the kick is going to be off, and it is a big boot pushing the end zone. And that looks like it's going to be a touchback here. And I've made this a point in every game that I've commentated so far. It is definitely very soothing to see, very familiar to see the traditional kickoff formations, as it looks like it's trickling out of the game of football now as the NFL has adapted different kickoff rules, which I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who is still trying to get used to seeing that every time the ball is getting ready to be kicked off. But nonetheless, this Saguaro offense is going to take over at the 20-yard line for their second drive of the game, helmed by quarterback Zealand Danielson, as it looks like they're going to have trips over top 3 receivers and 2 underneath in an empty set, 5 wide. Gotta expect some sort of pass play on this. Last time they came out in this set, they queued up a stick play, and it looks like it's going to be something similar as he's going to run through. And I'm sorry, that was quarterback Marcel Jones on the carry. Gain of a few, and we have another penalty flag on the play. On that first down run. A lot of penalties so far early on in this game. Definitely something that both head coaches are probably not very happy about. We've had some pretty silly ones. A unsportsmanlike conduct on that touchdown of Corona del Sol, and it looks to be another unsportsmanlike conduct enforced on Saguaro this time.
Penalty is unsportsmanlike conduct.
As there are some unhappy coaches on that sideline. Looks to be on the quarterback Marcel Jones, who was on that carry. And excuse me, it actually looks like that Marcel Jones has been in the game since the beginning, as we are getting more whistles out here. A lot of referee stoppage. And it is going to be another unsportsmanlike conduct play penalty on Saguaro. Or was it just reiterated? Some confusion out here in Scottsdale, Arizona, as I'm not really too sure what the refs are. Yes, that was another unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, backing up Saguaro even further into their own territory, which looks to be inside the 10-yard line, approaching the 5-yard line. So all the yards that you gained on that long run were negated on 2 penalties, as they're coming up with, looks like it's going to be 4 receivers over top. It's going to be a jet motion, and it's going to be a handoff, and it's going to be to the outside. It's going to be a big run. Big run. He's got a lot of room outside. That is number 6, Elias Johnson, to my point, to establish their run game early on. Big run there for Saguaro to gain some of those yards back lost on the 2 penalties on that play. And it looks to be another penalty on Saguaro, backing them up right back to where they started for yet another first down play for the SaberCats. Some very costly penalties for both sides of the ball, but especially evident here for the SaberCats early on in this game. 3:32 in counting left in the first quarter here in Scottsdale, Arizona, and it is going to be a pitch play to the outside to Johnson. Johnson's going to have some room outside, and he's going to be brought down. That is going to be a first down. Saguaro on that play.
Number 6, Elias Johnson.
And as I said earlier in the broadcast, definitely want to establish your run game. One of the offensive rules of thumb that I have become familiar with as I've been in tune with a lot more offensive perspectives is you always want to average at least 3 yards a game, 3 yards per carry in a game. And obviously winning third down is a focal point, but definitely you want to establish your run game to establish the rhythm of your offense as a whole, as that outside run is going to be stuffed by the Corona del Sol defense with Johnson on the carry.
Number 6, Elias Johnson.
And it seems evident too that Saguaro's offense has kind of struggled running the ball, as I've seen with a lot of schools across the valley, not just Saguaro, but maybe it's a testament to a lot of the different defenses across the state, but defense as a whole across the game of football has really been been evolving to adapt to the elaborate offensive schemes that have really come into play within the past few years. As it is going to be a quarterback outside zone play, as Marcel Jones is going to be on the carry. The junior is on the carry for a big run, and another Saguaro first down. As it looks like tight end Quentin Sims is going to sub into the game, as well as number 4 Mason Whitaker. And excuse me as I misspoke quite a few times early on in the broadcast. Marcel Jones is the starting quarterback for Saguaro here tonight. Definitely a recent change. Jet motion across for Saguaro. Line up in a pistol formation. Motion their tight end back over. That is Sims. And there's going to be another handoff to number 2, Ty Strozier, who's going to run wide and be pushed out of bounds across the 45-yard line to bring up a second down for the SaberCats. And it looks like ever since that last passing play on the last drive, Saguaro's really leaned into their run game a little bit, and they've really tried to establish their run. And they've done a nice job on it as they're trickling down the field from what was a not really an ideal field position that you want to start your drive, as they were backed up in their own corner. As now they have some breathing room, and it's going to be a play-action bootleg, and he's going to throw it to the flat. And that is going to be caught. Number 18, Quentin Sims, is going to have some room. He's going to cross the 25. He's going to cross the 20 and be pushed out of bounds at just about the 10-yard line. Big gain there to get the crowd roaring here at Saguaro. Definitely a look of Saguaro, the Saguaro of old times in the not-so-distant future, as this offense has now officially woken up in the game. And I'm excited to see what they're going to draw up here on this first down, as they are knocking on the red area on the 20-yard line exactly. Wide bunch set underneath here at the bottom boundary, and we're going to get some whistles to stop as the ref is talking to quarterback Marcel Jones, as his shoulder pad is going to be fixed by his teammate. As now we're looking like we're ready to get this play started. Electric play there. Very nice job just chucking down the ball underneath, as Corona del Sol is going to bring some pressure, and it's going to be an RPO smoke screen. Gain of just a few. That looked like it to be number 12, Aiden Whitaker on the catch.
Pass from number 7, Marcel Jones, complete to number 12.
And two throws in a row for Marcel Jones, and this offense is definitely establishing some sort of rhythm as they are working down the field. And I've been curious to see ever since I found out I was going to call this game how this Saguaro offense is going to operate, as we all know, the dynamic offenses that Saguaro has had throughout the years under Jason Moans, who is now coaching at ASU. But under this new regime of Darius Kelly, as time is going to tick and run out on the first quarter here at Saguaro High School in Scottsdale, Arizona. This is the Varsity Sports Show, as we are here live streaming this game here at Saguaro. Big fight feel against Corona del Sol, as Corona del Sol holds the lead 7-0 as we head into the second frame of this game. And as I was saying before that, Darius Kelly brings in this new regime and this new identity to this team, and I've been curious to see how this offense is going to operate, and how this new regime is going to bring in a different attitude to this Saguaro program, which is looking like it's still trying to identify itself in this new 2024 season. This team has definitely been a curiosity for me. I've really been interested in how this program has been functioning post Moans era, and honestly, I'm not really too alarmed at how this squad has been performing so far this year. I'm going to draw the comparison again. I think they're giving off severe University of Arizona football program vibes, as we saw how that program ascended from the bottom of the ranks in the now defunct form of the Pac-12, and now they ranked all the way up to working their way up to a 10-3 record last year, and securing a bowl win over Oklahoma, who is a top program in college football. But they've really become a dynamic offense. I would argue and say that they're definitely a top offensive unit in the nation, helmed by Noah Fafita. And I think that this Saguaro offense shows some comparisons to that style of play of that program. As U of A is definitely a team that really shows how dynamic they are, and they really use their players to their strengths, which is definitely something that that Saguaro has been doing early on in this game, and I've seen flashes of it in their previous games as well. The change to Marcel Jones has really shown to be electric on two elements of the offense in this game, as we've seen him run and throw the ball effectively in this last drive, as the offense is getting ready to take the field once again inside the 20-yard line. It's going to be a 2nd and 8, as they are now in the red zone, or some guys like to call it the red area. They're going to bring one tailback in the pistol formation, 2-by-2 set, as it looks like we're going to have some movement and some encroachment and some you can't do that chance here from the student section, as they're going to get a free 5 yards on that play for their 2nd down. And again, same formation, 2 receivers lined up close over top, 2 receivers lined up wide underneath with a tailback. And it's going to be a pitch play. Quick toss, and it is going to be across the 5-yard line. And it's going to put them inside the 5-yard line in a goal-to-go situation.
Down to the 4-yard line.
And now Saguaro is knocking on the door in the early minute of this 2nd quarter. Number 18, Quentin Sims, is going to substitute in, who had the big catch to put them in the red zone in the late minutes of the 1st quarter. And now Saguaro is going to come out in a trip set with their tight end lined up as a wing. There's going to be another handoff, and he's still going to be up. He's going to barrel through, and it is going to be a big scrum just before the end zone, and he's going to be stopped. It looks to be just a few inches shy of the goal line.
1-yard line.
As Saguaro is going to inch just a little bit closer on this 2nd and goal. And Saguaro is helmed by quarterback Marcel Jones, who awaits the play call. Already lined up in their formation, 2-by-2 set. Tight end over top. Jet motion to bring trips underneath. And that play is going to be blown dead, as it looks to be a false start. So Saguaro will be backing up 5 yards.
Illegal procedure on Saguaro.
And just add to the what is a growing tab of penalties here tonight for Saguaro. I did a game a couple weeks ago, a Horizon game a couple weeks ago, and there were quite a bit of penalties in that game too. Tyson Ditmore, their head coach, was not too satisfied with all those penalties, as I'm sure Darius Kelly is sharing the same emotions with all of these penalties that his team has been committing early on in this game. As Jones is going to take the snap, and it's going to be a one-handed interception. Wow, what a play by the Corona del Sol defense to pick that off. Ill-advised throw there by Marcel Jones as he heads to the sideline to shake that off, as it looked to be a sprint concept on that play as he tried to throw it over the head of the defender, and he made a miraculous play. Spectacular play with a one-handed interception to give the ball back to the Aztecs and thwart the long drive of Saguaro, as Corona del Sol is going to take over on the 10-yard line, as now they are backed up on their own in their own territory to start their next drive in this game, their first of the 2nd quarter. 10:16 left in the 2nd quarter. Corona del Sol leads 7-0, trips underneath. This is going to be a long play, and it's going to be a big throw broken up by Saguaro.
For number 5, Jacob Help, broken up by number
And that is Jaden Wiseman on the pass breakup on that play. Very well done play coming from the other side of the field for Mr. Wiseman on that play. Definitely not an easy task. Safeties have a lot of ground to cover as they defend the deep end of the field. And he came over and he probably broke up what was a possible touchdown call, a house call, as there's going to be another jet sweep, but flags flew early on that play. So hang on just a sec, as that was Dominic Ruiz on the jet sweep. But the penalty looks to be on Corona del Sol, excuse me. And just a reminder to all of our viewers out on the live stream, this is the Varsity Sports Show. I am Christopher Zavaios commentating this game. And it is just me. It is me or me on this call here at a beautiful night here at Saguaro High School. 10:02 left in the second quarter. And I'm trying to be very critical of this Saguaro team, as I've really been a big fan of them coming into this season, and I'm pretty shocked at the position that they're at in this young season. But I see a lot of positives, as they have a lot of playmaking abilities, as we saw on that last play. As there's going to be another big throw. Wow, just a little too much mustard on that throw, as it is incomplete. But this Saguaro team they're a young squad. They're trying to find their identity post Jason Moans, and I'm not really too worried on their record so far. As we've all known, everybody who has been familiar with Arizona high school football, we all know that Saguaro is a tough team, a gritty team, and they've been a trailblazing team. So, I'm not really too alarmed by the position that Saguaro is in this season. It is going to be a short punt. And they're going to take a favorable bounce for Saguaro, as they're going to get starting position at the 30-yard line for Marcel Jones in this operation. But I wouldn't panic. I wouldn't hit the panic button on the Saguaro program. I'm going to continue to praise Darius Kelly and this and his new regime coming into this 2024 season. He's definitely the right man for the job. And, of course, everybody likes to say football is a what have you done for me lately business. But, patience is also another key of football. And, you just got to be patient with some of these programs that really try to rebuild themselves and recapture their identities, as we've seen with numerous teams at any level of football. The New England Patriots are kind of doing something similar right now, as they're trying to find their way post-Tom Brady era. The Arizona Cardinals have kind of undergone somewhat of a soft rebuild, similar to this Saguaro team, as they were trying to gather up some supporting pieces. Michigan, the defending champions of Power 5 college football, they're still trying to find their identity post Jim Harbaugh and J.J. McCarthy era. These are a lot of teams that have been known to win, and just because a couple things change, a lot of people think it is uncharacteristic and definitely noteworthy when these teams show just a few flashes of struggling. But patience is definitely a big part of football, as I said, and I wouldn't hit the panic button too early on these Saguaro SaberCats for sure. Give them a couple more weeks, and this game is definitely a perfect starting point for them to kind of find their way again. As you see, just given their record at 0-4, I said at the beginning of the broadcast, their four opponents were top programs across Arizona. And when you're rebuilding your team in a soft rebuild and you bring in a new regime, you're gonna see a couple bumps in the road. And this game is definitely could be, and it was expecting to be, a starting point in a new turn in this offense as Marcel Jones is going to scramble out and be forced out of bounds for a loss of just a few yards on that play. Bring up a 2nd and long. But they make a change at quarterback. They bring in Marcel Jones, who looks to be a dynamic player himself. He's more of a seasoned player as he is a junior, so he can still step in and play this season and next season, and have their true freshman quarterback Zealand Danielson kind of sit back and kind of observe the game, a la what a lot of NFL teams have been adapting this model to some of their young quarterbacks. But I've been pretty impressed with Marcel Jones' performance so far. He's had a couple big throws and a couple big gains, and he can really lead a drive. And it's going to be an escape motion in the backfield. It's going to be a quick throw, very nice throw to number 2, Ty Strozier, and he's going to be forced out of bounds inside the 10-yard line, and right back into the red zone are the Saguaro SaberCats. They bend, but they don't break, and they are just knocking on the door for their first score of the game. And they're moving fast as Marcel Kelly jogs up to the offense as they're already lined up and set for their next play. It looks to be a bunch formation, and looks like we're actually going to have a false start to back them up. Receiver moved just a hair too early, which is definitely a con of running a fast-style offense, a fast-paced offense. I said earlier that a lot of coaches like to call it NASCAR, where you're constantly going fast, tempo, establishing a rhythm, and definitely trying to wear down the defense on the opposing end. And it looks like Saguaro is going to come out in the same formation, bunch formation underneath. And that looks to be number 10, Elijah Jackson, perhaps. Number 12, Aiden Whitaker at the top of the bunch. Nonetheless, Marcel Jones has a tailback right next to him. That is number 2, Ty Strozier, who had the big catch. And we have more penalty flags on the play. And another false start for Saguaro, which definitely has been an issue that has been evident in this game throughout, heavily evident in this game throughout. A lot of penalties, a lot of Saguaro getting in their own way. Got to be curious to see what is going through Darius Kelly's head as he sees this all unfold. If I got to insert my perspective on it, I don't think I want to be this team tomorrow morning as they show up for some conditioning and some film watching. But a lot of coaches do not take find joy in those penalties. Outside of a couple of housekeeping issues, Saguaro has been very efficient on offense as he tries to push that quick out, and it's going to be caught, and he is going to come just about the 11, 12-yard line for Saguaro.
Jones pass complete to number 10, Elijah Jackson.
And Elijah Jackson was the recipient of that Marcel Jones pass. Very nice play there by Marcel Jones as he gets his eyes down quick and finds his receiver wide open on that quick out play. And they are already lined up for another play, as it looks like they're getting a signal on the sideline from their coach, possibly making a play change as they line up in trips underneath. One receiver over top, and is going to be a quick throw. Nice screen, smoke screen to number 4, Mason Whitaker, and we have yet another flag on the play. So hang on as Whitaker reached inside the 5-yard line at about the 2 on that play, as we were possibly facing a holding call here for Saguaro perhaps, as we await the call from our official. Holding on the offense of Saguaro, so another big play that could have put them in prime scoring position is negated again by another penalty for Saguaro, which over anything has been the biggest issue for this SaberCats squad here tonight, is just getting in their own way and just having some mental mistakes, which I'm sure will be cleaned up as this game goes on, but very evident and very leaving a stain on how efficient that this offense has been trying to get into. As Jones is going to roll out, and he's just going to take it himself. He's going to move, and he's going to be fast. Crosses the goal line for a touchdown. Marcel Jones scurries in for the score. No penalties on the play, so that will stand. Touchdown, SaberCats. just to show the dynamic capabilities of Marcel Jones. He is going to roll out and score with his legs on the play. Definitely a big strength that he brings to the table as he takes over. And that is going to get this, that is going to put the stamp on this drive, for the Saguaro SaberCats, as the PAT is imminent with 8:29 left in the second quarter. Very nice job there by Marcel Jones to command this offense and have them come back and make a statement and make a positive out of all of those penalties in that drive, as the PAT is up and good, and we now have a tied game, folks. 8:29 left from that long drive for Saguaro, which ate up about 3.5 minutes of the second quarter, when it started with, I want to say, about 3 minutes left in the first quarter. So a very long drive to keep their defense nice, well, and rested, as they were out on the field for the vast majority part of the first quarter in this game, as they had quite a bit of rest, and now they're going to take the field again, as this Corona del Sol offense is going to come back out onto the field, led by Luke Farrell, their sophomore quarterback.
Happy anniversary.
And outside of just all the penalties on the Saguaro side, I've been pretty satisfied with the performance that Saguaro has put up offensively and defensively so far. Outside of a bobbled punt early on in the game and some penalties, they've played some sound, efficient football. Offensively, they're still trying to establish a rhythm. Penalties, I'm going to harp on it again. Penalties definitely hindered that aspect of their game. Nonetheless, this offense is definitely on the right track to becoming efficient so far in this game, and Marcel Jones is heavily to thank for that, as he took command of this offense to dig them out of the holes that they were digging themselves on penalties, and they don't really seem fazed by anything that Corona del Sol has really thrown at them. A lot of laid-back coverage snaps for the Corona del Sol defense, outside of a few plays that stood out to me, not really bringing too much pressure. But nonetheless, very nice job overall for the Saguaro team, as we are trickling into the midway point of the second quarter. And they're getting ready to kick this ball away to the Corona del Sol SaberCats. It'll be number 44, Ivan Dioncio Salgado, the sophomore, getting ready to send this boot away. And it is going to be a very nice kick, and is going to be fielded in stride for Corona del Sol. He's going to find some room, and he's going to be brought down. That is number 21, Kydell Stone, again making a special team stop for the SaberCats. And Corona del Sol is looking to take over at just about the 30-yard line in the minus territory. And just to remind all of our viewers, too, once again, you are watching the Varsity Sports Show on a crisp Friday night. I am Christopher Zavios here with my my lovely crew on a Friday night, a warm Friday night, I would say. Here for some bright Friday night lights here. Cannot get any better than this, as Corona del Sol is going to start this drive off with a handoff. And there's going to be a short gain for number 34 of Corona del Sol. That is J.P. Shiibel. And it's going to be a 2nd and 5 for the Aztecs in this game. Saguaro's defense lines up with 4 down linemen, and they have 2 high safeties. As the Aztecs are awaiting their offensive call, and it's going to be a fast jet motion, and there's going to be some misdirection, but it is no match for this Saguaro defense. Stuffed, and that is number 50, Jesse Martinez. There seems to be an injured player on the play.
Number 50, Jesse Martinez.
Very, very well done play, and definitely shows the discipline of this this defense of Saguaro. Very fast jet motion that Corona del Sol tried to bring out on that play to create some misdirection. It's called a fake zone jet, that play call. No match for that defensive front of Saguaro, as it was easily thwarted for a short gain and bring up a third down, or I'm sorry, a loss of yardage on that second down to bring up a 3rd and 8. And now it looks like Saguaro is starting to pick up some steam after an awkward start to this game, and definitely a testament of some of the flashes that Saguaro has shown in their first couple contests. No matter their record, they're a very sound team with a very good head coach, and their record is definitely not a testament to that at all. And they've really been playing very well tonight, and I've been very pleased with their performances tonight. And their defense is still trying to stay energized, as you can see on your screen during the break in gameplay. As we are getting ready for the two sides to take over again on this 3rd down, 7:17 left to go in the second quarter here at Saguaro High School. I am Christopher Zavallos talking to you all here tonight on the Varsity Sports Show. We are live here at Saguaro High School. And I gotta say too, I kind of like the setup here at Saguaro. Their stadium is very nice. They have a jumbotron and a very nice view of the mountains out here in Tempe. Very beautiful scenery, especially as the sun was going down. You get a nice sunset view here at Saguaro High School as we are set for a 3rd and 8. 2 receivers over top. It is going to be a big throw, and it is going to be too high and defensed away by Kydell Stone. Very nice job. Kydell Stone again making his presence known on special teams and now on the defensive side of the ball, bringing up 4th down. Very nice stand here by the Saguaro defense. And we are now patiently awaiting to get Marcel Jones and this offensive unit out on the field. And now that the offense of Saguaro has had a couple drives under their belt, they've implemented a lot of different play calls. They've had Marcel Jones scramble out, as we saw on that touchdown play, as the punt is going to be up and is going to be a very short kick. And it's going to take a couple bounces in favor of Corona del Sol. Ended up being a very nice kick, as Saguaro is going to take over right there on the 31-yard line. And to my point, we've seen the development in the play calling of the Saguaro offense as this game has progressed on. We've seen a couple screens, we've seen a couple run plays. They've liked to work the outside boundary when they are trying to get their run game going. And outside of the long tab of penalties that they've had, they've played very well offensively. And now that they have one score under their belt, they're looking to bring in another one with Marcel Jones at the helm of this offense. And after what looked to be a small confusion among the referees, we are now ready for this Saguaro offense to take the field. And I'm curious to see what if their play calling is going to be progressing even more as they take the field on the 31-yard line, led by Marcel Jones. That this offense is definitely on their way to finding a rhythm, and they are definitely starting to open up their playbook a little bit as they come back in a trips over top formation with a tailback. Going to be an exit motion. And there's going to be a long throw by Marcel Jones with just off the target. It's a little too much mustard on that throw, intended for number 12, Aiden Whitaker. But hang on, we have yet another penalty flag on the play. And early signals signify that it could be a hold. Not really too sure on who, though. Penalty marker was thrown on the outside boundary across the 35-yard line, so perhaps could be on the Corona del Sol defender, which is pass interference against Corona del Sol, and that'll bring up the Saguaro offense up a couple yards as they approach the 50-yard line. The 40-yard line. And now first down on the 36-yard line. They're coming back in that same spread formation, trips over top, tailback, one receiver underneath. As it looks like they're going to get a different signal on the sideline from their offensive coordinator. Marcel Jones with a running back right next to him, looks to be Elias Johnson. Takes the snap. Jones quickly fires out, and there's going to be a great quick throw to number 8. That is going to be Jaden Wiseman, who's going to break loose. He's going to break the 20. He's going to go all the way. Big touchdown for Saguaro. Jaden Wiseman with a long touchdown on the quick out play. Very well done by Marcel Jones to get that ball out quickly and fire it to the outside boundary to lead his receiver away from the defender for the long touchdown. And here we go. This is the Saguaro team that we have been craving to see all season, and they are humming now as we are at 6:35 left in the second quarter as we await the PAT, or excuse me, it looks like we might be getting something else as we have a swinging gate formation with the majority of the team lined up wide, and they're going to condense to what will be, yes, a PAT set. Very interesting approach to that PAT attempt, as Jaden Wiseman was on that long touchdown play pass with the pass by Marcel Jones. Jaden Wiseman on that touchdown. And I've definitely been impressed with the way Marcel Jones has progressed throughout the game. He's shown now flashes of his abilities running and passing the ball now. Very impressive display there on that quick out on the long touchdown, firing it out and leading his receiver away from the defender. And Jaden Wiseman had to shake off another initial defender that led to the long touchdown. And now Saguaro is getting ready to send this ball away as the ball is placed on the 40-yard line. I want to remind our viewers once again, I am Christopher Zavallos, and this is the Varsity Sports Show live at Saguaro High School as the ball is sent away to Corona del Sol. Feel it just past the 10-yard line. And he's going to try and make a move, but number 19, Delonte Foley, is there to make the stop at just about the 15-yard line, which is where this Corona del Sol offense is going to start its operation with 6:24 left in the second quarter here at Saguaro High School. And what we saw last drive from the defense of the SaberCats was a very nice and disciplined outing for this defensive unit. A lot of misdirection that Corona del Sol has been trying to create and confuse the defense, but Saguaro was going to be unfazed and did not bite on him for a couple of disciplined loss of yardage stops on that last drive. And it's going to be an outside run there for Corona del Sol. He's going to break loose across the 20-yard line, and that'll be a first down for the Aztecs. Big run there. A lot of outside runs to the short side of the field for Corona del Sol in this game. We saw early on they had a nice toss play to the short side of the field. And now we have another first down here for the Aztecs. Jet motion across, and there's going to be another handoff, the zone jet play. And that time they're going to get a couple yards for a gain of about possibly 6 or 7 on that play, I want to guess. Maybe 5, 6 on that play. 2nd and 4 here for the Aztecs. And it is a packed house here at Saguaro High School. As I look at the stands up here in front of me, I can hear the student section over my headphones out here, and they are roaring, as it is going to be an outside run play again for Corona del Sol, and it's going to be a big run across the 40-yard line. That is number 1, Dominic Ruiz, the wide receiver. Very fast coming off the edge, and a big gain for the Aztecs. And now the Aztecs are looking to answer back from that long touchdown of the SaberCats. And instead of bluffing the jet sweep on that play, they actually go to it, and they kind of have an interesting design as far as the offensive line, where they have 2 pullers out in open field. And it proved to be a elaborate blocking scheme, as it proved for another big gain for and there's going to be another handoff here. That is number 13 for Corona del Sol, Tristan Ritchie, the running back.
Tackle made by number 33, Martin Rennie.
And that is going to bring a second down and about 5 for the Aztecs on this play. Two receivers over top, and it looks like they have their tight end lined up as a wing underneath. One running back, and it's going to be another reverse handoff play. Number 5 of the Aztecs is going to bounce wide out to the field and be pushed out of bounds just before the 20-yard line for another Aztecs first down.
10, Elijah Jackson.
And again, same set for Corona del Sol. Is going to be another jet zone fake. And it's going to be a gain of a couple across the 20-yard line.
Ball carrier number
Now Corona del Sol has definitely settled down and really leaned on their run game so far in this this drive after the long jet sweep play to Ruiz. And they're now knocking on the door in the red area as they cross the 20-yard line. Hoping to answer back from that long touchdown for Saguaro. As now they have 2 receivers underneath, and their wing is going to line up over top as we have whistles signaling a timeout Saguaro on that play.
Timeout Saguaro there first. Fans, remember at
Gotta like that call there by Darius Kelly. You know, take the timeout with 3:55 left in the second quarter. And we are back here at Saguaro High School. As now the Corona del Sol Aztecs are going to take over and further this drive as they're going to get another couple yards on that run play. Approaching the 15-yard line, bringing up a 3rd down and short.
ball carrier number 13,
Ball's going to be spotted at the 17-yard line.
Tristan Ritchie, brought down by number 33, Martin Rennie.
Definitely an opportunity for the Saguaro defense to force maybe a field goal
3rd down.
or a 4-down situation here to try and get off the field and hold Corona del Sol to either 3 or no points on this drive. One wing over top, 2 receivers underneath, And we are going to get penalty flags on the play, as you saw there.
Penalty on the play.
A little bit of excitement on that defensive front, which is going to boost the Aztecs up to the 12-yard line
On Saguaro.
and give them another set of downs, excuse me.
Fourth down.
Another example of the
Third down.
costs that come with a lot of penalties and mistakes like that. Mistake-free football is definitely a testament to a lot of coaches, as I'm sure it is with Coach Kelly on the sideline, as we are set for a 3rd and 1 now, opposed to a 3rd and 6. And there's going to be Farrell's going to throw, and it's going to be a nice catch. He came down with it for a touchdown. Aztecs on that play. Very nice job there by the Aztecs. It was kind of a play-action pop. It was a pop pass call on that play, popping the seam and throwing it into the end zone. Very nice spot of the ball there by Farrell. Coming now with a touchdown, and now the Aztecs answer to the long Saguaro touchdown. And to put 6 on the board, now we await the extra point, PAT, to tie this game up for the Aztecs. And it is going to be up and good, and I got to say, what a response there for the Aztecs on that drive. And as we await the kickoff here, I got to applaud the Aztecs on that play. As we await for the Saguaro offense to come out, we are going to take a quick commercial break here on the Varsity Sports Show. Do not go anywhere.
Hi, this is Kaylee Sumner with Varsity Sports Show, and I'm going to be talking about Arizona Christian Honors West Valley High School basketball team during championships. Arizona Christian men's basketball team faced St. Catherine's out of California at home Friday at 6 p.m. in the first round of the NAIA tournament. It is the second year in a row that the ACU is hosting the first 2 rounds at home. At 3 p.m. on Friday, the winning scores against the 2 teams, Antelope Valley of California scored 26 out of 4, or 26 and 4. They played against Indiana Heritage, which was 21 and 9. So that's the score that they got for the game. Followed by ACU, they scored 23 out of 7 against St. Catherine's 23 to 8. Thank you so much for having me. This is Kaylee Sumner with the Varsity Sports Show, out.
And we are back here with the Varsity Sports Show, and we are immediately greeted with a long touchdown, or a long pass to number 12, Aiden Whitaker. Nice job there by Marcel Jones to catch him in stride and give him some room to make a big play. And now here come the SaberCats to respond off that long Aztecs drive. 2:17 in the quarter, left in the half, excuse me. Jones going to take the snap. He's going to roll out, use his legs a little bit. Nice floater pass just over the head of his intended receiver, Whitaker. Could have posed some danger, but too much ground for the safety to cover to come down with it. And the SaberCats get a break coming up on a 2nd and 10 now. And they are now at the 45-yard line of the Aztecs, as Marcel Jones is waiting to get the next call on the 2nd down play. 3 receivers underneath. They're going to have their tight end line up as a wing attached to the offensive line. Shotgun. Jones going to fake a pitch, excuse me. He's going to roll out. He's going to have some room to gain just a couple yards to bring up a 3rd down and possibly 4.
Number 7, Marcel Jones on the carry. Forced out at the 39-yard line by number
And
1, Dominic.
now that I've seen Marcel Jones a couple of times in a couple of drives in this game, I've been able to see a lot of elements of his game as he brings a lot to the table as far as running, passing, and even pitching the ball on some pitch plays. As we saw in that last play, it was a fake pitch, and he rolled out and was able to take the run himself. As Jones is going to take the snap, and here we are again. There is a pitch play, and that is Ty Strozier, excuse me, barreling through, possibly just short of the 1st down mark. Could be 4-down territory, and it looks like it is going to be that way as Jones and company are going to stay on the field on a 4th and 1. Big play here for the SaberCats. Stack box for the Aztecs. Jones is going to rip it deep down the sideline, and it is going to be incomplete, intended for Aiden Whitaker, and that drive is going to stall for the SaberCats. He just missed the mark on that throw. Pushing the outside boundary, maybe just a little bit too much mustard on that throw, excuse me, for Marcel Jones. As the offense is staying out on the field, excuse me, I was under the assumption that it was 4th down, but maybe it was 3rd down. Nonetheless, the offense lives to have another play. They're going to have a bunch formation underneath. And it is going to be a quarterback sprint play to the outside, and Marcel Jones is going to pick up the 1st down, but there is going to be a flag on the play. So hang on as we await the call. It's going to be a holding on Saguaro, so back that up. And that is going to negate the long run there from Marcel Jones. And another example of the penalties that have come in a long tab here for the SaberCats so far in this game. Got to be a focus point for Darius Kelly and his staff heading into the locker room with 47 seconds left to go in the half. Saguaro possibly trying to sneak in another score and get up by 7 as they head into the locker room. 3 receivers over top, 1 running back next to him, 1 receiver underneath for Saguaro. Jones lined up in shotgun. Corona looking like they're going to bring pressure in the middle. Saguaro takes a pause to receive possibly a different play call from their offensive coordinator on the side, as we have whistles, which is going to signify a Corona del Sol timeout. 14-14 as we have 56 seconds and counting, I want to say we have on the scoreboard here at Saguaro High School. 2 timeouts left for each team, which could be worth noting. 14-14 game. It's kind of turned into a shootout in the last few minutes of this second quarter. Saguaro with a long touchdown pass play to Jaden Wiseman on a very nice throw there by Marcel Jones. And another nice throw here for the Corona del Sol Aztecs as they responded with a touchdown of their own to tie this game up. As it looks like we're getting ready to have these 2 teams take the field over again to finish off this half. Possibly 32 seconds left on this first half. And Saguaro is going to punt this ball away, as the penalty kind of put them out of range in converting 4th down. And now Corona del Sol awaits the punt. The punt is going to be up, and it's going to be a high kick. And it's going to be fielded. And it is going to be a long return. Dominic Ruiz, as he ran across the field and would be pushed out at about the 25-yard line. And that is going to be where Corona del Sol is going to take over with 18 seconds left on this half. The first half down, I got to say a couple things that have really impressed me so far on the Saguaro side of things has been Marcel Jones. I wasn't really expecting to see him play tonight, but he is in the game, and he's really he's really impressed me so far with how he has been able to utilize all the elements of the game that he's been able to bring as far as running it and throwing it. He had a very nice throw on that long touchdown pass play. I'm going to keep giving him his kudos on it because I actually thought it was a very nice throw, pushing that ball out to the outside. But here comes Corona del Sol, and they're going to try and take a shot to make a play at some points at the end of the half, but it's going to be a long throw, incomplete, possibly a interception dropped by guess who? Jaden Wiseman to a player who was on the coverage. But definitely a very opportunistic Corona del Sol squad led by head coach Jake Barrow. 13 seconds left on the clock, and they are still taking shots, hopefully trying to sneak out 7 points of their own to end the half and take the lead and possibly the momentum if that is the case. And now the referees are getting through some confusion with the ball in play. As it looks to be sorted out now, we are ready to play ball now. 3 receivers over top for Corona. Snap, drop, and it is going to be thrown into the dirt as Luke Farrell was under pressure.
Snap by number 8, Luke Farrell, incomplete. 3rd down.
Very well done job by the Saguaro front. Again, getting into the face of Luke Farrell, forcing him to get the ball out quick. And as we saw on that play, ball kind of had to be thrown into the dirt a little bit as he probably couldn't see the receiver that he was trying to throw to. And rather than taking a long sack in this situation with 10 seconds to go, definitely just want to spike it on the ground to let the play another down. And that looks to be the case. 3 receivers lined up wide, 1 over top. I'm expecting a big shot play here for the Aztecs, and that is going to be the case. He's going to throw it to the middle of the field, and it's going to be tipped up and almost picked off by number 21, Kydell Stone. 5 seconds left to go on the clock, and that drive is going to go nowhere for the Aztecs as they are going to punt it back to the SaberCats with 5 seconds to go.
Farrell's pass incomplete, broken up by number 21, Kydell Stone. 4th down.
And now the punt return unit looks to take the field here for Saguaro as the offense is going to look to take back over with 3 seconds left to go on the clock in this first half. And now we're looks like we're going to get a timeout Corona on that right before the punt play. And I want to go back to a couple things that impressed me the most in this first half. I'm going to go back to Marcel Jones. I'm going to not stop talking about that throw that he had on the long touchdown. Very well done, trying to lead his receiver to the sideline and create some separation between him and the defender as he shook him off for the long touchdown. Marcel Jones ran for another touchdown. Long rushing play on a scramble to create the first points for Saguaro. Just a very nice job by Marcel Jones in this game, and he's really shown that he can probably command this offense, and he's stepped up. Being a junior too, he could be competing for the starting job for the rest of this year and next year beyond, as he has another year of football, high school football in front of him. And it's going to be a very awkward punt. It's going to be fielded and caught. And it's going to be a wide open touchdown. That is number 12. Aiden Whitaker just was lined up as a gunner on that play, and the kick was right to him, and he was able to walk in for the touchdown as Saguaro is going to be able to steal 7 points heading into the locker rooms at the buzzer of this first half. Very interesting kick selection there by Corona del Sol as that actually looked intentional. Kind of a rugby kick to just kind of squib it out of bounds possibly, but it was short and it was fielded by Aiden Whitaker. Right place, right time for the walk-in touchdown. And now Saguaro is going to come out in this swinging gate PAT attempt. as they're going to shift, into PAT formation to make the score possibly 21-14 as they head into the locker rooms to put the finishing touches on this first half. And the extra point is going to be up and good. What a turn of events here at Saguaro High School. What a turn of events. Very nice job there by the special teams to stay alert and be aware of their surroundings as the ball was kicked directly to Aiden Whitaker to give that last second touchdown. I'll add that to the list of things that have impressed me so far for Saguaro in the first half. As well as Marcel Jones, have been impressed with the defensive front as they made a couple stops and a couple of loss of yardage stops for the defense. They've been able to get in the face, too, of Luke Farrell and be able to create some chaos for the Corona del Sol offense. And this is the Varsity Sports Show here, going to sign it off for halftime here. I am Christopher Zavaios. We'll be right back with more Saguaro Corona del Sol football in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
This is Beckett Parker List from Temple University with Varsity Sports. I am once again joined by quarterback Blake Ashudo and DN Mipam Jumper from Southern Oregon. Last time they were on the show, they were 2-0, preparing for the biggest game so far this season against 9th-ranked College of Idaho. They are now 3-0 and the 14th-ranked team in the nation. Blake, can you tell me what message you guys are sending this year to the conference and to the nation?
I think the message is that we can just really play with anybody. We beat the same team last year. They kind of brought back the same team. They were number 5, I think, when we beat them. But now we showed that we can win consistently, and we beat them this year. And jumping up in the rankings is good. And now we have a big matchup this week.
Mipam, you guys are now 3-0. You guys are the 14th ranked team in the nation. How are you guys dealing with these wins? Do you guys feel the pressure?
Yeah, we think of pressure as a privilege, so we just go day in and day out, just a smile on our face, and we just kind of chip away the grindstone every single day. Just practice makes perfect, and then we go out on Saturday, and we go win.
All right, awesome. Thank you guys for coming on. Are there any last words for the fans?
I would just say come out to the game again. NAIA football is really slept on. I think it's really good football. We're not just looking for the NIL deals and stuff. It's actual real guys that just love football. So I think it's a really good show.
Small college football is the best football. It's people who love that game so much. And, man, we got a great matchup coming up on Saturday at 1 o'clock at Raider Stadium.
This was Beckett Parker List from Temple University with Varsity Sports.
Hi, this is Jameer Johnson reporting with the Varsity Sports Show. I am an Arizona State University online student reporting from Indianapolis, Indiana. Today, we are going to get into the top high school football games happening this week in Indiana. A very exciting matchup is going to be with the number 8th ranked team in Indiana, the Lawrence North Wildcats, against the number 18th ranked team, the Ben Davis Giants. Then we will have the undefeated number 3 ranked high school football team, the Warren Central Warriors, travel to the west side of town to match up against the number 19th ranked team in Indiana, the Pike Red Devils. Finally, we will have the matchup to end one of these teams' undefeated seasons. Yes, undefeated seasons will be ended with the number 1 ranked team in high school football in Indiana, the Brownsburg Bulldogs, against the number 2 ranked team, the Westfield Shamrocks. This Friday should be filled with excitement from the many high school football games there is to choose from to see exciting teams and players make amazing calls and plays. Just last week, the Warren Central Warriors went into 2 overtimes with the Ben Davis Giants. This has been Jameer Johnson with the Varsity Sports Show reporting with Arizona State University.
Hi everyone, my name is Kiana Watchman from the University of Arizona reporting for the Varsity Sports Show. Looking into Montana Western season, they're currently sitting at the top of the Frontier Conference as defending Frontier Conference champs. The biggest game of the season so far for the Bulldogs was against number 3 ranked College of Idaho. This upset was credited to quarterback Michael Palandri with a career high of 416 passing yards against the Yotes. Montana Western has racked up 2 conference wins against College of Idaho as well as Eastern Oregon University. A confidence boost with a win against D3 Lewis and Clark College has also prepared Montana Western as they take on ranked number 14th Southern Oregon University. Looking towards the southeast, Bethel has taken on 2 out-of-conference opponents showing their dominant power with their 49-3 win over University of Northwestern Minnesota and a 51-30 win over University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire. Bethel begins season play September 28th against St. John's University. Wide receiver Joey Kidder broke records of his own, including being named the Royals' all-time touchdown reception leader with 31, and he also tied the single-game record with 4 touchdown receptions. Each team is climbing the ladder within the conference and the NAIA and are receiving deserving national recognition. That's it from Kiana Watchman. Please follow my ex at KWatchman News, and I hope y'all have a great day.
This is Marco Saguaro from the Varsity Sports Show. Hope you guys are all doing well. Today I'm here to talk to you guys about the ascension of Sam Darnold, the current starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. He has his team off to a 3-0 start, leading the NFC North. Nobody expected that coming into the season with the way all the other teams were talked about in that division in the offseason. So to talk about Sam Darnold, you have to provide some context. So came into the league as a high draft pick going to the New York Jets. Didn't go well. Obviously in New York, and that led to his departure. He landed in Carolina, started well with that team, but didn't end well. Leaves there and goes to San Francisco, where he was able to spend some time with Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan and was able to really learn about what it takes to win. He credits his time there, and he said he was able to learn from Brock Purdy in terms of preparation and just being in a winning environment. And that really has a lot to do with his success right now that he's experiencing with Minnesota. So he's the current NFL leader in touchdown passes with 8 on the season, leading one of the NFL's best scoring offenses. 3 weeks into the season, 28.3 points per game. That's 3rd in the league at this point in time. He's on a 1-year deal, a 1-year prove-it deal, as many would say, to really see if he can be the guy for the Vikings. Of course, they drafted J.J. McCarthy, but a 1-year prove-it deal allows Sam Darnold with the opportunity to potentially secure something long-term if he plays well this year, which so far is looking like it. And they talk about who's this year's Baker Mayfield, who's this year's Geno Smith, and Sam Darnold could be that guy in terms of somebody that can resurrect their career and change the narrative surrounding their name. So we'll see what happens. As a Vikings fan from Minnesota, I'm hoping it continues. This is Marco Sagai from the Varsity Sports Show.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sabir Abdushahid. I'm reporting from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, at Temple University, right here in the city of brotherly love. As we can see that the city is always in great spirits of football, and this week is no different. We have the Philadelphia Eagles along with Jalen Hurts play against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield. We have seen both challenges from both teams prior to this game, as it both have resulted in 2-1 for their record. The question that's on everybody's mind, especially the Eagles fans, is will A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith be able to come back and will return for this game or any games in the near future for our franchise with the Eagles. They both have very, very grand risk of injury, and they both have been injured in the past. And this matchup and this week will be very interesting to see how Jalen Hurts will maneuver with not even his 2 most weaponized people within the field. We also have a new center who's going to also have to show out and show off as he always should be, as Jason Kelsey has retired. We have seen that the Eagles have clutched a win against the New Orleans Saints last week, with Hurts throwing for 311 yards and Saquon Barkley getting 2 touchdowns within this game. And we can see that this has been a very big adjustment for the Eagles, as they do not have A.J. Brown this season so far yet. But they had Devontae Smith, but he got injured, unfortunately, during the New Orleans Saints game. As we always say, fly, Eagles fly. This is Sabir Abdul reporting from Philadelphia, right here, right now at Temple University. And until then, I'll see you guys next time.
Hi, this is Kaylee Sumner with Varsity Sports Show, and I'm going to be talking about Arizona Christian Honors West Valley High School basketball team during championships. Arizona Christian men's basketball team faced St. Catherine's out of California at home Friday at 6 p.m. in the first round of the NAIA tournament. It is the second year in a row that the ACU is hosting the first two rounds at home. At 3 p.m. on Friday, the winning scores against the two teams, Antelope Valley of California scored 26 out of 4, or 26 and 4. They played against Indiana Heritage, which was 21 and 9. So that's the score that they got for the game. Followed by ACU, they scored 23 out of 7 against St. Catherine's 23 to 8. Thank you so much for having me. This is Kaylee Sumner with the Varsity Sports Show, out.
This is Beckett Parker List from Temple University with Varsity Sports. I am once again joined by quarterback Blake Ashudo and DN Me Palm Jumper from Southern Oregon. Last time they were on the show, they were 2-0 preparing for the biggest game so far this season against 9th-ranked College of Idaho. They are now 3-0 and the 14th-ranked team in the nation. Blake, can you tell me what message you guys are sending this year to the conference and to the nation?
I think the message is that we can just really play with anybody. We beat the same team last year. They kind of brought back the same team. They were number 5, I think, when we beat them. But now we showed that we can win consistently, and we beat them this year. And jumping up in the rankings is good. And now we have a big matchup this week.
Me Palm, you guys are now 3-0. You guys are the 14th ranked team in the nation. How are you guys dealing with these wins? Do you guys feel the pressure?
Yeah, I mean, we think of pressure as a privilege, so we just go day in and day out, with a smile on our face, and we just kind of chip away the grindstone every single day. Just practice makes perfect, and then we go out on Saturday and we go win.
All right, awesome. Thank you guys for coming on. Are there any last words for the fans?
I would just say come out to the game again. NAIA football is really slept on. I think it's really good football. We're not just looking for the NIL deals and stuff. It's actual real guys that just love football. So I think it's a really good show.
Small college football is the best football. It's people who love that game so much. And, man, we got a great matchup coming up on Saturday at 1 o'clock at Raider Stadium.
This was Beckett Parker List from Temple University with Varsity Sports.
Hi, this is Jameer Johnson reporting with the Varsity Sports Show. I am an Arizona State University online student reporting from Indianapolis, Indiana. Today, we are going to get into the top high school football games happening this week in Indiana. A very exciting matchup is going to be with the number 8th ranked team in Indiana, the Lawrence North Wildcats, against the number 18th ranked team, the Ben Davis Giants. Then we will have the undefeated number 3 ranked high school football team, the Warren Central Warriors, travel to the west side of town to match up against the number 19th ranked team in Indiana, the Pike Red Devils. Finally, we will have the matchup to end one of these teams' undefeated seasons. Yes, undefeated seasons will be ended with the number 1 ranked team in high school football in Indiana, the Brownsburg Bulldogs, against the number 2 ranked team, the Westfield Shamrocks. This Friday should be filled with excitement from the many high school football games there is to choose from to see exciting teams and players make amazing calls and plays. Just last week, the Warren Central Warriors went into 2 overtimes with the Ben Davis Giants. This has been Jameer Johnson with the Varsity Sports Show reporting with Arizona State University.
And we are back here live at Saguaro High School. This is the Varsity Sports Show. I am Christopher Zavios here along with my wonderful crew here. Again with the Varsity Sports Show. We have 2 minutes until the second half here in this contest between the Saguaro Sabercats and the Corona del Sol Aztecs. Very interesting first half, I would say, from my perspective. First quarter, really kind of the two teams just kind of getting used to each other, getting familiar with what each team has going to do offensively and defensively on both sides of the ball. Couple early scores from each team, definitely a lot of mistakes from each team, a lot of penalties from each team. Gotta wonder if that it was, or you gotta wonder, but it's most definitely gotta be a point of emphasis in the respective locker rooms of each team, from head coaches Darius Kelly for Saguaro and Jake Barrow for Corona del Sol. A lot of penalties from each side, which was a trend, and it kind of got in the way of each team's attempts to just make anything happen. To be honest, Saguaro had a lot of penalties and they lucked out at the end of the second quarter, with a kind of a shank punt, an awkward punt that that number 12, Aiden Whitaker, was able to walk in for a touchdown, but they had a drive prior to that where they were trying to punch it in and possibly continue the drive to get an extra touchdown or another score on the board, which ended up stalling because of a holding call. And before then, they had a lot of false starts. They had a couple of guys jump off sides. And the same thing with Corona del Sol. They've had a lot of unnecessary roughnesses, a lot of unsportsmanlike conducts, a lot of holding, false starts. Just been a very sloppy game as far as the housekeeping things go for both sides here tonight at Saguaro High School as the final seconds of halftime are starting to dwindle down. A couple things that stood out to me on the Saguaro side was I touched on it quite a bit at the end of the first half was Marcel Jones. I was unaware that he was going to start the game today. I was under the impression that Zealand Danielson, the freshman, was under center up until midway about the first quarter. Got to hold myself accountable for that. But Marcel Jones steps in, and he's done quite a good job. He's a junior. He's a seasoned guy. Definitely not his first time on the varsity level, but everybody's first time in this new regime under Darius Kelly. He's really done a nice job showing off all the elements that he can contribute to the offense. Running the ball, he's a very dynamic scrambler. He can make a lot of things happen with his legs. He had a scrambling touchdown, about a 20-yard rushing touchdown in the first quarter. He had a very nice. I'm going to continue to harp on this as the game progresses because it was as a fundamental guy, I appreciate a lot of fundamentals in the offensive side of the ball, and he really made a nice throw on a quick out play in the second quarter that led to a long touchdown to Jaden Wiseman. Was about a 60-yard touchdown on a quick out route as he led the ball away from a defender for Mr. Wiseman to create some separation and shake off that defender to get a long touchdown. And then at the end of the half, they Corona del Sol tried to, I don't know if it was attempted shank or they were just trying to kick it out of bounds to burn clock, but it was a short kick to the outside boundary, and it was fielded by number 12, Aiden Whitaker, as I said, for the go-ahead walk-in touchdown. As the kick is going to be up and off. Here we go for the second half here at Saguaro High School. This is the Varsity Sports Show as the kick is going to be returned what initially looked like to be at the 20-yard line, but he was bounced back 5 yards, and this will be at the 15-yard line will be the starting point for this Saguaro operation on offense led by Marcel Jones, the quarterback, the junior, who stepped in for this game. And as I have been talking about for the past couple minutes of how well he has been playing so far in this game, very nice environment here at Saguaro High School. My first time being in this stadium, and I got to say I'm pretty impressed. A lot of fans out here, I can kind of see the student section from my position. They've been loud all game. Very nice outing here for this Saguaro football team as Marcel Jones and company are going to take over at the 20-yard line. As expected, trips underneath 3 receivers, and it is going to be kind of a RPO-style play, but right off the bat, Marcel Jones is going to find an open field, and nobody's going to catch him. 20-10, and he's just going to walk right in for the touchdown. And let's not waste any time as Marcel Jones going to walk in for the touchdown, presumably. But we have a holding call on Saguaro that is going to negate that long touchdown for Marcel Jones on what was a very nice design. And now we're hearing you can't do that chance from the Saguaro side, or excuse me, the Corona del Sol side. Just kind of been a testament to the game so far. A lot of housekeeping errors for Saguaro and Corona del Sol, in fact, but Saguaro has mainly had a lot of penalties get in their way of a lot of opportunities. As showcased on that play there, a very nice scramble or a very nice design there by the offensive coordinator of Saguaro that led to what was a long touchdown from Marcel Jones, but due to a holding call, they are right back to behind where they started, and now they're just past the 15-yard line for for a first down, and they're going to go to the same play, kind of a triple option style RPO. And that ball popped out at the end of the play, recovered by Corona del Sol, no whistle. So it actually looks like this is going to be Corona del Sol's ball. Unfortunate turn of events here for the SaberCats, as that ball came loose at the tail end of that play, as it looked like that was number 6, Elias Johnson, on the carry. Early turnover and an early unfortunate turn of events here for Saguaro, as what was a long touchdown was negated by a holding call, and now in the next play they're going to fumble it and give it away to Corona del Sol in prime field position at about the 16-yard line. So right off the bat, Corona del Sol takes command of what was an early hiccup, and now it is all on Saguaro's defense, in fact, as they're going to stack the box. 4-man up front, tight condensed formation from Corona. They're just going to run it right up the gut, and it's going to be a big scrum past the 10-yard line to about the 8 for Corona. And you got to wonder if that was a emphasis point for head coach Darius Kelly in the locker room at halftime. A lot of penalties. I don't really have the exact number, but it was quite a bit of penalties that cost them a lot of situations in the first half, and now they start off with that right off the bat. But nonetheless, this Saguaro defense looks to make a stand here on 2nd and 2 and keep them out of the end zone. There's going to be an outside run for a first down for the Aztecs. That looks to be number 34, J.P. Schiabel, on the carry.
Scheibel on the carry.
And that is going to be a first down, Corona, and goal. Now the Saguaro defense with their backs against the wall. Can they make a stand here to keep them out of the end zone, to possibly hold them to 3, or if they go for it, possibly keep them to nothing? Again, 4 men on the defensive line. They bring pressure, a run outside, and it's going to be a touchdown for Corona del Sol. And I want to say that is going to be J.P. Scheibel again on the carry. And now instead of a 28-14 advantage Saguaro, it ends up being a 21-21 affair here for the SaberCats. Not an ideal way to start the second half. Kind of got to hope that it lit a fire under this squad here to respond, as that's what they've been able to do all game. Each team has been able to respond well to a lot of deficits that they faced. We exchanged touchdowns back and forth at the tail end of the first half. Got to wonder if that'll be the case here, as Saguaro looks to respond and they get the ball back. Here with 10-11 left in the third quarter. You are watching the Varsity Sports Show at Saguaro High School. And beyond the housekeeping errors, I got to say I'm going to keep harping on the fact that I've don't really have an issue with the way that Saguaro's been performing besides all those penalties. They've been very efficient outside of the one fumble. They've taken care of the ball for the majority of the game. They've found a rhythm on offense at the end of the first half, and they've really kind of relied on Marcel Jones, and he's done a nice job of stepping up and taking command of the offense and taking command of this team and really leading them into a fireworks of events at the end of the first half. Hopefully they can lean on their quarterback a little bit more as this second half continues to proceed, but it's a team effort here for sure. And you know, Marcel Jones has definitely done a nice job leading this team, and maybe this team, maybe they will rally together and step up. I'm curious to see how this Saguaro team is going to respond. It is taking Corona a couple minutes to get their kickoff unit out on the field. Grant Williams will be the return man for Saguaro whenever this kick is going to be sent off. And a very nice job there by Corona del Sol to capitalize off what could have been a disaster start for them, as they allowed a long run that was called back, but they were able to force a turnover in the plus territory in the red zone, and that ended up turning into 7 for them, and Instead of going down 14, they're tying the game up at 21 as we are now ready to get this kick sent off to Grant Williams and company on this Saguaro return team. And the kick is going to be off, and it is going to be a big kick into the end zone. Going to be bobbled, but it's going to mean nothing as it's going to be a touchback. And now Saguaro will take over at most likely the 20-yard line. Same starting spot as the last drive. Gotta wonder what Marcel Jones and company are how they're gonna respond to the events of the last drive. But I gotta say, very curious to see, very intrigued to see as well. Just to applaud Marcel Jones one more time, give him another bouquet of flowers, if you will. He's really done a nice job showing off his elements of how he likes to command the offense. He's really excelled at throwing and rushing, as well as commanding and focusing on some pitches. Is he going to pump there and just run it right up the middle on a draw play? Look to be an arrow screen option. And it's going to be a nice gain of about 10 yards on that play. Maybe he was just short of the first down marker. Nonetheless, straight to business for Marcel Jones and company. Now it is going to be a second down and short. Trips over top, and they're going to get somebody to jump. And another penalty, but this one's going to go against Corona del Sol.
Penalty on the play.
And that'll just give Saguaro the first down.
Offsides on the Aztecs.
So a 1st and 10 for the SaberCats at the 34-yard line. And it looks like they're going to stick with their trips over top. Set. Marcel Jones going to line up in the shotgun as he has for the majority of this game. One running back next to him as he's going to step back, work through his progressions. He has pressure to his blind side, and he is going to be brought down. That is going to be a sack for the Corona del Sol defense. Very nice job there by the pass rush of Corona del Sol. And that's going to bring up a 2nd and 16 for the SaberCats.
Loss of 6 on the play. Second down.
And now 2 receivers lined up on each side for Saguaro. And shotgun again for Marcel Jones with a running back right by his side. He's going to drop back again. And now he's going to try and step up in the pocket and scramble out for some gain. And he's going to gain back some of the yards here to make up for that sack on the last play, bringing up a 3rd down and possibly 10 or possibly 8.
3rd down, 7 yards to gain.
Got to applaud to the quick decision-making so far by Marcel Jones. He's done a nice job making quick throws. He's done a nice job making some quick runs. Was able to just find a hole and scramble to gain back a couple yards to bring up a 3rd and 7. And now he's going to roll out again. Roll all the way to the edge of the field. He's going to air it out. Going to be a big throw, and it's going to be right over the head of his intended target. Incomplete. Intended for Mason Whitaker on the play, and the Saguaro offense is going to stall on that drive as they hustle off the field to bring in the punt unit. As they give the ball back to Corona del Sol, Corona del Sol is really starting to rely on their run game heavily within their last couple drives of the first half, and as it was shown on that first drive of the second half, they've really started to lean on their running back, J.P. Scheibel, who has had a couple of nice carries, and he was the one who was able to walk in that touchdown as we have another penalty flag on the play before this punt was sent away. And that's going to be a false start on Saguaro to back them up 5 yards. And now we are setting up to punt at the 32-yard line. It's going to be a high kick. Maybe he got a hand on it. And that's going to take a favorable bounce for Saguaro as it trickles toward the 35-yard line. And that is going to be the starting point for the Corona del Sol Aztecs as they get set for their second drive of the second half, excuse me. Definitely expecting to see them rely more on their run game, led by J.P. Scheibel, who had a couple carries and had that touchdown on the last drive. And as both sides look to head back over to their respective sides to get situated for this ensuing drive. (21-21) is our score here. We are all tied up in the third quarter with 8 minutes and 10 seconds left to go here at Saguaro High School. Now the night is starting to feel a little crisp. It was a little warm heading into the game today. Very strong sun around the valley. Triple digits again, which has kind of become a normal thing for us here in Arizona. Definitely a lot of warm Septembers as we're told that it was the fall season, but you know the summer never really stops here in Arizona. All right, and we are situated for this next drive for Corona del Sol. Expecting to see them rely on their run game a lot more. I've said that numerous times as this drive is starting to get started here. Four-man front for the Saguaro defense. Another jet motion, and there's going to be a awkward snap, and it's going to be a huge loss for Corona, or possibly not. Dominic Ruiz is going to try and make something out of it, but that is not going to be the case. He is swallowed up by a bunch of Saguaro defenders. Brought back all the way to past the 10-yard line.
Penalty on the play.
As we have a penalty flag on the play, so let's see who this is going to be on. And now a near disaster for Corona del Sol on that snap. Went right through the legs of quarterback Luke Farrell. It's possibly going to be a jet sweep play as Ruiz was passing by, possibly hit his foot. Maybe on that snap to have it go straight through the legs of Farrell, but nonetheless, it is going to be a big loss for the Aztecs. Very nice job staying heads up on the defense for Saguaro as well. Keeping their eyes up and swarming around Ruiz as he looked like he was trying to make something out of nothing, which ended up not being the case as they're going to be backed up all the way inside their 10-yard line.
Penalty is block in the back on Corona. Saguaro declines the penalty.
And that is a block in the back for Corona.
Second down from the 11-yard line.
And now Farrell's going to take the snap. It's going to be a quick throw, kind of a screen play. Nicely done. And there's going to be another big gain. He's going to barrel his way through to back the original spot. And now Corona responds and makes up for that long bobbled snap fiasco.
Ball carrier number 5, Jacob Held.
Very nice conservative play call. That's definitely one of the times that being conservative can pay off as far as your play calling goes. Setting up a nice screen, you never know what's going to happen. As they catch the Saguaro defense sleeping on that play, and now they're on a 3rd and 11, which is more favorable than a 3rd and 35. Backed up towards your own end zone, but now they're lined up at about the 31-yard line. Jet motion. Farrell going to get the snap. He looked like he was going to run himself, but he just stops to the floor, and he's going to be brought down for a loss. And a 4th down for the Aztecs. Very awkward play there.
52, Jack
And now the punt unit is going to come out here for Corona del Sol.
Back to receive for Saguaro, number 4, Mason Whitaker.
Snap, and whoa, he's got some defenders in his face, and he's going to have to take it himself, and he's going to be barreled. What a hit across the 25-yard line, and there are going to be flags on the play. What a hit, and what a display there by the punt team for Saguaro. Ran right through the front line of the defense for Corona del Sol to try and block the punt, but very nice job staying heads up on the punter for Corona del Sol, and he tried to at least try and attempt to get a first down, and he paid the price for it. But that's going to be a flag of unsportsmanlike conduct. Very big hit. Not really allowed to see those anymore in the game of football. As a lifelong football fan myself, I can really appreciate any time I see a big hit like that. Nonetheless, Saguaro is going to take over here. Marcel Jones and company are poised to take over in what is favorable field position again, as they're going to be positioned at the 43-yard line of Corona del Sol. And now we are 6:11 left in the third quarter. Both teams have had some disastrous plays themselves, but they've been able to capitalize on it. And now let's see what Saguaro has cooked up for this next drive. Marcel Jones and company, 2-by-2 set. Jones takes a snap. Going to be a play action. He's going to keep it himself on a zone read type play. And he's going to be stopped for no gain or a loss of 1.
Number 7, Marcel Jones on the keeper. No gain on the play. Second down.
And here we go, 2nd and 10 here for the SaberCats. And Jones is going to drop back to pass, but sees nothing, and he's going to try and scramble, but he is going to be brought down immediately by the Corona del Sol defense. And that's going to be a quick 3rd down. 3rd and 12 for Saguaro. And now 3rd and 12. Empty set here for the SaberCats. Marcel Jones going to draw back to pass. Plenty of time. He's going to throw a quick out again, and that ball's going to be popped out, but he never had control of it. Incomplete pass.
Pass intended for number 12, Aiden Whitaker.
And now both teams are looking to bring some big hits to the table here. Incomplete pass is going to bring up a 4th and 12, and Saguaro was unable to capitalize on the good field position that they were able to get.
Back deep to receive for the Aztecs. Number 1.
As they look to pin back Corona del Sol deep in their own territory. Snap. And he's going to send this punt away, and it's going to be fielded at about the 10-yard line. I believe that's Dominic Ruiz, who's going to barrel his way through past the 20-yard line, possibly at the 21-yard line. And that'll be where this Corona del Sol offense is going to take over.
Tackle made by number 21, Kyle Stone.
And a very awkward drive, last drive for the Aztecs, as they had a snap be sent right through the legs of Luke Farrell, sending the offense into a frenzy, and almost gave up the ball or a touchdown. But the Aztecs were able to recover it and turn a screen into some favorable field position. They were unable to capitalize on it in the end. Nonetheless, this offense is going to take over, and it's going to be a handoff up the middle. Brought down after a gain of a couple on that play. Second down.
Number 34, J.P. Scheibel on the carry. Tackle made by number 22, Brady Cochran.
It'll be a 2nd and 8 for the Aztecs on this play. Stacked box for the SaberCats. Looks like they have one high safety. Could be showing man coverage. Farrell's going to hand it off. Outside run again, and he's going to be brought down after a gain of a couple past the first down yard mark, and that's going to be a first down Aztecs.
J.P. Scheibel on the carry.
And that is J.P. Scheibel on the carry. Definitely a shift in the play calling of Corona del Sol. They've really adjusted and have really leaned on their run game in the last couple drives that they had in the first half. And now that is really showing as the clock is ticking, 3:30 left and counting in the third quarter. Trying to eat clock, trying to manage the clock. Another rule of thumb of offensive football. And it's going to be another one of those reverse plays as he's going to get all the way outside, and he's got some room. As there's a penalty flag back at the line of scrimmage, but a massive gain for the Aztecs if this is able to stand.
Penalty on the play.
See some referees signaling a sideline warning. Curious to see what this call is. The offense is staying in the remote area of where that last play ended, so very interested to see what this call is going to be. And it's going to be a sideline warning against Saguaro.
Penalty is ruled sideline.
Another penalty to add to the laundry list of penalties for Saguaro so far in this game. Gotta fear for these guys as they head into Saturday morning conditioning and film session. As the snap is going to be dropped again, Farrell is just going to have to sink to the ground to avoid any other possible harm. And that's going to be a waste of a down, and we might have another flag on the play.
Last 3 on the play. Tackle made by number 50, Jesse Martinez.
There is not a flag on the play, and it's just going to be a loss of a couple yards. Second down for the Aztecs. And it's going to be an outside run again, and it's going to be a gain of a couple to bring a 3rd and short. And now Corona del Sol is knocking on the door of the 20-yard line. I'm trying to see where this spot is going to be. It's going to be at about the 23-yard line. So a 3rd and short, 3rd and 4 for the Aztecs. We are now under 2 minutes. You hear the bell toll. That means it is going to be a big 3rd down here. And there's going to be a rush up the middle, another fake zone play. Another fake jet play, excuse me. He's going to walk right through for the Aztecs first down past the 20, approaching the 15-yard line. And now Corona del Sol is looking to capitalize and punch in for another 6. 1:44 left in the third quarter here at Saguaro High School. Now as the Aztecs get situated, you can definitely feel the shift of their play calling. They're really leaning into their run game as this game is going on. Possibly another score in the way that the offense has come out in the second half for Saguaro. A touchdown here could definitely signify a shift of momentum here. Saguaro came into the half riding a high, and then once they had that holding call, the momentum kind of went all the way towards Corona. And they could really take control of this game with another 6 here. Four-man front for the SaberCats. showing pressure as they plug both A-gaps. There's going to be a quarterback wrap play, or excuse me, maybe an end around to Dominic Ruiz.
Number 1, Dominic Ruiz on the keeper.
Stopped just short. A little bit of confusion there by the Aztecs offense. They confused me as Ruiz was actually lined up in a wildcat formation, and he kept it himself on a wrap play. 2nd and short, 2nd and 2 for the Aztecs. A lot of design quarterback runs and run-heavy offenses around the state of Arizona here. As I said earlier in the broadcast, I called a couple of Horizon games who likes to lean on their rushing game, helmed by dual-threat quarterback Jace Ashley. As we're going to have some whistles here and a timeout for Corona. But a lot of offenses are adapting to a lot of run-heavy schemes and a lot of quarterback design run schemes. As I said earlier, with apparent by some of the looks that I was able to see from Horizon High School and Coach Tyson Ditmore's system, he runs up the road.
Fans, the Saguaro SaberCat Football Foundation would like to thank
Definitely a testament to as kind of a Saguaro's approach to their play calling, as they have a truly dynamic quarterback behind Marcel Jones. And now it looks like Corona del Sol is starting to get their wide receivers and their tight ends involved in the run game, as they've like to run that reverse player. They like to use Dominic Ruiz as a decoy on that jet motion, where they try and run a zone weak play out of that, or a dive play with the bluff jet sweep, or they'll just have Dominic Ruiz run the jet sweep himself, or a new look that we just saw in that last play where he'll line up in the Wildcat and just run a stretch play. A lot of different interesting looks that we've been given by Corona del Sol so far in this game. As now the two teams are looking to take the field here on a 2nd and 2, with Corona del Sol lined up on the 11-yard line of Saguaro. Backs against the wall for the Saguaro team. Two receivers lined up wide, with a wing lined up underneath as well. Farrell is a running back lined up right next to him. Going to take the snap, and there's going to be a handoff to his wing tight end for a gain of a few inside the 5-yard line. And now Corona del Sol is in prime position to put another couple points on the board.
Ball carrier number 5, Jacob Help. Tackle made by number 8, Jaden Wiseman.
Now shotgun formation for Farrell in this offense, and it's going to be Scheibel, and he's going to walk right in for another Corona del Sol touchdown as they continue to take the lead again. And a big payoff for this Corona del Sol offense that is really leaning into their run game now. Cannot harp on that enough. As a fan of a lot of run-heavy offenses, I can really appreciate what the shift in play calling on both sides of on offense on the both sides of the game of the field on behalf of Saguaro and Corona del Sol. Very in keeping with the what looks to be the offensive approach to a lot of schools around the valley, as the extra point is going to be up and good to boost the lead to 28-21. Corona del Sol now. Curious to see how Marcel Jones and the Saguaro offense is going to respond with 13 seconds to go in the third quarter. Do not hit that panic button yet, Saguaro fans. You still have a whole quarter of ball to go, and only a one-score game.
Back deep to receive for Saguaro number 9, Grant Williams.
Grant Williams back to receive the kick. Now looking at the play calling approach on the side of Corona del Sol, you got to wonder if Saguaro is going to dial up a lot of design quarterback runs for Marcel Jones. Definitely has the legs for it, as the Williams is going to field the kick. in his end zone, and he's going to cross the 25 and be brought down at about the 28, 29-yard line, which is where Marcel Jones and company are going to take over. Gotta wonder if they're going to adapt a little bit more of their design quarterback run game. We haven't really seen too much of Elias Johnson, the running back, so far in this game. They've worked a lot of RPOs and a lot of screens on this play, but they've also tried to take a couple shots down the field, maybe to create a spark of momentum. Very curious to see how the Saguaro offense is going to come out.
Offsetting penalties on the play. First down, Saguaro.
Now we have 5 seconds to go in this third quarter. As it looks, a penalty is going to boost Saguaro's field position up to the 38-yard line. Even better field position than what they had. Two-by-two set. Jones going to hand it off. Nope, he's going to keep it on his own read. He's going to get outside, and it's going to be another big gain as he passes midfield. Big gain there for Marcel Jones.
First down.
And that is going to signify the end of the third quarter here at Saguaro High School. Just a reminder to all of our viewers out here, this is the Varsity Sports Show. I am Christopher Zaviles. We're just going to take a brief break at the change of the quarter. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, this is Jameer Johnson reporting with the Varsity Sports Show. I am an Arizona State University online student reporting from Indianapolis, Indiana. Today, we are going to get into the top high school football games happening this week in Indiana. A very exciting matchup is going to be with the number 8th ranked team in Indiana, the Lawrence North Wildcats, against the number 18th ranked team, the Ben Davis Giants. Then we will have the undefeated number 3 ranked high school football team, the Warren Central Warriors, travel to the west side of town to match up against the number 19th ranked team in Indiana, the Pike Red Devils. Finally, we will have the matchup to end one of these teams' undefeated seasons. Yes, undefeated seasons will be ended with the number 1 ranked team in high school football in Indiana, the Brownsburg Bulldogs, against the number 2 ranked team, the Westfield Shamrocks. This Friday should be filled with excitement from the many high school football games there is to choose from to see exciting teams and players make amazing calls and plays. Just last week, the Warren Central Warriors went into 2 overtimes with the Ben Davis Giants. This has been Jameer Johnson with the Varsity Sports Show reporting with Arizona State University.
We are back here at Saguaro High School as we're getting ready to start the fourth quarter. 28-21, Corona del Sol in the lead just for now, as Marcel Jones and company are getting ready to continue their drive at midfield. 2-by-2 set, lined up in shotgun. He has Elias Johnson right by his side as he looks to get another call from his offensive coordinator on the sideline. Jones got to pitch it outside to Johnson. Johnson's going to take a big hit, but absorb it and just get another gain of another yard or two.
Ball carrier number 6.
And that's going to bring up a second down for the SaberCats, and they're going to waste no time as they're coming back in a bunch formation shotgun. Jones has a Johnson right next to him, and it's going to be a sprint concept play. It's going to be incomplete, intended for number 10 Elijah Jackson.
Incomplete. Third down.
Bit of an awkward play call there. Does it kind of look like a sprint slide type of play where they have the inside receiver lined up in the bunch, run a slide route, which is just straight across behind the line of scrimmage, and kind of a post levels concept across the field. as he tried to hit Elijah Jackson, number 10, on that dig, just a little too far ahead of him. Coming right back in a bunch formation. Jones has Johnson right next to him again. Orbit motion. That is going to be number 21, Kydell Stone, on the outside on the end around. And he's going to barrel through for a gain of just a couple. Possibly bringing up fourth and short.
Kydell Stone on the carry, gain of 2.
And we have a couple whistles on the play. And we're going to take a brief intermission here. Don't go anywhere with the Varsity Sports Show.
Hi everyone, my name is Kiana Watchman from the University of Arizona, reporting for the Varsity Sports Show. Looking into Montana Western season, they're currently sitting at the top of the Frontier Conference as defending Frontier Conference champs. The biggest game of the season so far for the Bulldogs was against number 3 ranked College of Idaho. This upset was credited to quarterback Michael Palandri with a career high of 416 passing yards against the Yotes. Montana Western has racked up 2 conference wins against College of Idaho as well as Eastern Oregon University. A confidence boost with a win against D3 Lewis and Clark College has also prepared Montana Western as they take on ranked number 14th Southern Oregon University. Looking towards the southeast, Bethel has taken on 2 out-of-conference opponents, showing their dominant power with their 49-3 win over University of Northwestern Minnesota and a 51-30 win over University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire. Bethel begins season play September 28th against St. John's University. Wide receiver Joey Kidder broke records of his own, including being named the Royals' all-time touchdown reception leader with 31, and he also tied the single-game record with 4 touchdown receptions. Each team is climbing the ladder within the conference and the NAIA and are receiving deserving national recognition. That's it from Kiana Watchman. Please follow my ex at KWatchmanNews, and I hope y'all have.
And we are back here at Saguaro High School. I am Christopher Zavios, once again here with the Varsity Sports Show. Thank you to all of our viewers out here, and thank you to everybody out here with me on my wonderful crew, camera and TD sitting right by my side, as Jones is going to fake the handoff, and he's just going to take a wrap, and he's going to scramble across the field and find some open room. We do have a flag on the near side, so hang on.
Marcel Jones on the carry, penalty on the play.
Add that to the laundry list of penalties that we have had so far tonight. Going to be a legal shift on Saguaro, so that's going to negate the long run by Marcel Jones.
Penalty is ruled illegal shift on Saguaro.
Very nice play call nonetheless there by Saguaro. I remember seeing the Indianapolis Colts run a similar play with Anthony Richardson, their dynamic quarterback. Very similar style to Marcel Jones, who is another dual threat quarterback who can be very dangerous with his legs. So I can applaud that play call there by the offensive coordinator of Saguaro, as they're going to come out with a trips set underneath, one receiver over top, and Johnson right next to Jones by his side. 10:45 left in the fourth quarter. Jones going to take a step back. He's just going to run it himself, and he's going to scramble across the 45, the 40, and he's going to finally trickle out of bounds, approaching the 30-yard line. Another big run by Marcel Jones. What a night he's had. Definitely another example of the quick decision-making that Marcel Jones has. He really is fast on his feet and his eyes, as you can tell, as Saguaro's going to waste no time coming out in a bunch formation. It's going to be a pitch play, kind of a pin and pull type of concept to Elias Johnson, who's going to still not be pushed out or brought down before he's eventually brought down at about the 23, 24-yard line of Corona del Sol. So here comes Saguaro.
First down.
And now Ty Strozier is going to check into the game and be the tailback for Saguaro. Jones going to take the call from the sideline, and it looks like they're going to stick to this bunch formation underneath. Jones lined up in shotgun, takes a snap, and is going to be a handoff to Strozier as he approaches and is brought down at the 20-yard line.
Ball carrier number 2, Ty Strozier on the carry, gain of 2.
And as Jones awaits the play call on the sideline, looks like they're going to come out with a empty set 5 wide for Saguaro. They run a couple plays out of this. They mostly run a stick play out of this set. Got to wonder if that'll be the play call here. More signals from the sideline for Jones. Shotgun takes a snap. And it is going to be that double stick play, but it is going to be an underthrown ball intended for number 4, Mason Whitaker, to bring up 3rd down and 8.
Pass incomplete. 3rd down.
Just a misfire there by Marcel Jones. You can definitely tell he's trying to lead his receiver to the outside, which is definitely what you do when you throw a stick route, but maybe just a little bit too much mustard on it and not enough velocity behind that throw. Just low and in front of his receiver off target. And as they await the play call from the sideline, it looks like they're going to go back to their trip set with a Strozier right next to Jones in the backfield. But it is going to be just a lead play for Marcel Jones, and he's going to go absolutely nowhere. Brought down in the backfield for a loss of a couple yards and bring up 4th down. Curious to see what the decision is going to be here for Darius Kelly. Is he going to go for it on a 4th and 9, or is he just going to take the points and kick a field goal, which looks like it might be the case? Excuse me, Marcel Jones and company are going to stay out. And they're going to go for it, and it is going to actually be a 4th and 11. Could be a game-changing decision here for the SaberCats. 4th and 11, 8:20 to go in the game. 4-man front for Corona del Sol. They're going to stack the box as we're going to get whistles and a timeout for Saguaro.
Timeout, Saguaro.
Corona del Sol has really kind of sat back in a base formation, base 4-3 look for the Saguaro offense. And Saguaro's really just kind of try to answer back and give them a array of different play calls. As we've seen, they've come out in empty, they've come out in trips, they've come out in a 2x2, they come out in a bunch. They've done a lot of misdirection run plays with that. We've seen with the end around. We've seen a jet sweep. We've seen a lot of play action zone reads from Marcel Jones, and they've really try to create an advantage with how dynamic this offense is. Definitely just trying to find a stride anywhere they can find it. Really like the way they've run a lot of different plays out of their bunch formation. I was really impressed with that end around play call to Kydell Stone on a play a couple of minutes ago. Very nice design there. But I've been pretty satisfied with the play calling on the front of Saguaro in this game. Saguaro still huddled up on their sideline as the Corona defense looks to be all ready to take the field on this 4th and 11. The offense is still out there as well. So it looks like they're going to stick with the decision to go for it. Could be a game-changing decision with 8:15 to go on the clock of the game. Biggest play of the game here for Saguaro, 4th and 11. 4-man front for Corona del Sol. They're going to stick to that base 4-3 look. Could be man coverage across the board. Could be pressure. No over-top safeties in pressure indeed. Long throw. Jones to the end zone, and is going to be caught for the touchdown. Aiden Whitaker. The risk pays off. Saguaro is a point away from tying this game. What a throw by Marcel Jones, pushing the over top pylon of the end zone. Beautiful spot and a beautiful catch there by Aiden Whitaker. And that'll be the third total touchdown for Marcel Jones. 2 passing, 1 rushing. And the second total touchdown for Aiden Whitaker. Don't forget, he caught that pooch kick at the end of the first half to run that in for a walk-in touchdown. And the Swinging Gate PAT set as they're getting situated to tie this game up. And the PAT is going to be up and good. Tied game, 28-28. What a response by Saguaro. Gotta say, what a turn of events here for Saguaro. Definitely a big gamble going for it on 4th and long, and instead of just getting the 11 required yards, they just go for it all, and it pays off. Beautiful throw there by Marcel Jones. Kind of reminded me of a play a year ago of the Pittsburgh Steelers where Kenny Pickett threw a similar ball to George Pickens, I believe, for a walk-off touchdown to seal the game against the Baltimore Ravens in Pittsburgh last year. Similar throw and a similar play call here tonight for the Saguaro SaberCats. Tie this game up 28-all, 8:10 to go in the game. Curious to see the response of Corona del Sol's offense led by Luke Farrell. And they've started to lean on their heavy run game a little bit, so maybe they're going to try and tick off some clock as the kick is going to be up and away. Very nice kick fielded at the 10-yard line. I believe that is Dominic Ruiz, who is just going to bounce out of bounds at about the 28-yard line.
Returned by number 1, Dominic Ruiz.
So here comes this Corona del Sol offense, who has really leaned into their run game. I'd imagine they would stick to that type of philosophy as they try to take clock off of the field. Take clock off.
20, Delano St. Lee.
And really try to own the clock with 8 minutes to go in the game. We've seen a lot of long drives across all levels of football, so definitely up to the Saguaro defense on how this game is going to go. And it's going to be a kind of a slide RPO play, incomplete nonetheless.
Pass attempt by number 8.
Jet motion going to turn into a slide route, which is just a receiver running straight across behind the line of scrimmage on kind of a screen play. Incomplete, 2nd and 15 for the Aztecs, excuse me.
Play was ruled backwards pass. 2nd down.
Excuse me, it was actually ruled a backwards pass, which meant a loss of a couple yards on the play. And they're going to run a shift, and there are penalty flags in the play. Some Saguaro players did jump, but it looks to be a false start on Corona del Sol, backing them up even further. Possibly a 2nd and 20 situation for the Aztecs. Now 2 receivers over top. It looks like they're going to go back to that wing underneath. Running back right by his side. Got to wonder if they're going to go back to the run game here. No, they're going to have Farrell drop back to pass. Another long ball, and it is going to be a well-covered route. Incomplete. Bounce right off the helmet of the defender. Well done by the Saguaro defense. 3rd and 20 for the Aztecs. Now the energy is starting to pick up around the stands here at Saguaro High School. You hear the band playing. You hear some fans getting into it. It is now getting close to crunch time in this game. Very close affair as these two teams are battling it out to get their first win on the season. Now trips over top for Corona del Sol. Farrell's going to take the snap, drop back. He's just going to take his check down as he is floored at the tail end of that throw. Gain of about 1 on the play. So Saguaro's defense stands tall with the help of a few penalties from Corona del Sol. And it looks like Saguaro's going to get this ball back. 6:46 in counting left to go in this game. Now they're going to have number 4 Mason Whitaker line up at about midfield to field this punt. Definitely an opportunity to take control of this game and really either try and steal it, as the punt is going to be a low, kind of a squib type of kick, bounce all the way back in their own territory. And it'll actually be a long bouncing punt, as this is going to be fielded at the 21-yard line of Saguaro. And the return man kind of got in the way of the bounce as he kind of tiptoed around it. Some on the Corona del Sol side are arguing that he touched the ball, but that won't be the case, as boos are coming from what is presumed to be the Corona del Sol side. And now Marcel Jones and company are going to take over at the 22-yard line. Hopefully trying to put this game away. Maybe we get to see some design runs, or maybe some more jet sweeps or orbit end-around plays, as he has a tailback lined up directly behind him. Jones going to hand it off. He's going to throw here. Rolls out to the near side. Just going to take a check down, but it'll be incomplete. Intended for number 10, Elijah Jackson. And that's going to stop the clock at 6:09 left in the game. And now they're coming back in a what looked to be a 3-by-2 set with a tailback in kind of a pistol-type formation there for the SaberCats. They're going to go back to their traditional 3-by-1 set with a back lined up right next to Jones. Jones going to take it and keep it on his own read play. He's going to get outside. Oof, works the joystick a little bit and spins across the 35-yard line for a first down, SaberCats. And he was brought down inbounds, so that clock is going to keep on ticking as we're now under 6 minutes. And now it looks like they're going to stick to their trip set over top. Running back lined up right next to him again. That is Elias Johnson back on the field. 4-man front for Corona del Sol. And there's going to be a sprint concept play. Jones going to roll back to the near side. He's going to air it out for Whitaker, but he was severely hindered in going up for that catch, and it looks like we might be getting a pass interference, which could mean catastrophic consequences for Corona del Sol. Much to the dismay of the Corona del Sol sideline, that will be a pass interference call to boost the SaberCats up to the 49-yard line in the plus territory. Now 2-by-2 set. They have their tight end lined up at the wing. There's going to be number 18, Quentin Sims. Elijah Jackson lined up in the slot over top. And they have Aiden Whitaker, who has had a big day, lined up wide underneath. And it's going to be a handoff on the dive. Gain of just a couple on the play. That is Elias Johnson, excuse me.
Number 6, Elias Johnson.
As we are just at about 5:20 and counting here at Saguaro High School. So the clock is ticking. And it looks like Saguaro could be adapting a run game here. As they await the play call, it looks like they're going to go back to that 2-by-2 set. The wing Sims is going to line up over top. Jones in shotgun. He's going to send Jackson in motion. It's going to be a touch pass. And Jackson's going to get outside. He's going to have some room, and he's going to cross the 30-yard line. Nice design. That was a touch pass play, so that will go down as a reception for Elijah Jackson. But he, however, stepped out of bounds, stopping the clock at 4:37. The SaberCats are knocking on the door of the red zone here now as they look to put the dagger in the Aztecs with 4:37 to go in this game. Jones line up in shotgun. Running back Johnson's going to line up underneath, or behind him, excuse me. It's going to be a play-action boot play. Jones going to roll all the way out and just going to throw it away. Didn't really see anything he liked on that play. Kind of a boot slide play. Levels concept with a corner route to the end zone and a over route to the mid-range of the field. All covered up by the Corona del Sol defense. The clock stops at 4:31 to go in the game. Score is all tied up, 28-28. Trips underneath on the near side. Jones takes a snap, hands off to Johnson. Johnson's going to hold onto the ball and be stopped for a minimal gain. And that's going to keep the clock running. That's going to bring up about third and a few with 4:14 and counting to go in this game.
26-yard line, third down.
Now they're going back in a 2-by-2 set. Two lined up wide underneath on the near side. Shotgun formation, 3rd and 9 for the SaberCats. Could be a big play. Jones going to keep it himself, looking to throw. Trying to find more room. He's going to work his way back, and he's going to find a wide open man at the that looks like the 17-yard line, just enough for a first down. What a heads-up play by Marcel Jones for another set of downs. A little bit of Lamar Jackson look from Marcel Jones on that play. Design roll out to the near side. Didn't find anything he liked with pressure in his face. Works his way back over top the field to the over top boundary and finds a wide open man for just enough for the first down. Very nice heads up play and a testament to the quick decision making of Jones in this game. As we are approaching 3 minutes to go in this game here at Saguaro High School. Trips underneath. Running back lined up right next to Marcel Jones. Going to hand it to him. That's Elias Johnson. And he's going to barrel his way through for about 2 yards.
Elias Johnson on the carry.
Now we are under 3 minutes of putting Saguaro in prime position to take full control of the outcome of this game. Turn of events, and definitely a huge shout out to the defensive side of the ball for Saguaro as they were able to keep the Corona del Sol offense grounded on that last drive, giving the ball back to Saguaro, putting them in prime position. Bunch formation. And it is going to be a quarterback keeper. That is Marcel Jones, who's going to come close to the first down as he passes the 10-yard line. Now Saguaro's really knocking on the door to possibly get closer to putting the dagger in as we hit 2 minutes to go in the game and counting.
10-yard line.
We are all tied 28-28. Both teams looking for their first win. High drama building. Saguaro awaiting the play call, taking their sweet time. 3rd and 2, however. They're going to have trips underneath. Number 12, Aiden Whitaker is going to line up far towards the sideline. And they're going to have to take a timeout as they just took a little too much time getting that play call out.
Timeout, Saguaro.
They still have 2 to go. Not really that big of a deal for Saguaro's side as they still have 2 more timeouts to go in full control of the clock as we're at 1:26. They came out in a trips formation. Got to wonder if they were thinking of throwing it short on that play. We have seen Saguaro run a couple of screens. Saw a bubble screen. We saw them work an RPO. But we've really seen them kind of expand their playbook as the game has rolled on. We've seen a lot of different plays, touch passes, or end arounds. We've seen a lot of attempts at rolling out Marcel Jones, as we saw on that spectacular play as he worked back over top the field to keep this drive alive on that 3rd and long.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember that tonight's game will be replayed tomorrow.
And just a reminder that you're watching this game on the Varsity Sports Show live here at Saguaro High School. I am Christopher Zavallos calling the game. It's me or me on the call. I've been calling this game all night here, alongside with my wonderful crew on camera and production, and our field correspondent Olivia Prickett. It is a team effort here with the Varsity Sports Show. Even though I am the only voice that you hear, it's not just a one-man show out here. And now the two teams are taking the field on a pivotal 3rd and 2 for Corona del Sol, at least, as they're looking to keep Saguaro's offense at bay to give themselves a shot to steal this game here. Saguaro comes out in a bunch formation. Running back lined up right next to Marcel Jones. Corona brings pressure. It's just going to be a wide zone play with their quarterback, Marcel Jones, and he's going to have that first down. And the clock is running here as we are trickling under a minute 15 here in Scottsdale, Arizona at Saguaro High School. 28-28 is the score, and one timeout left for Saguaro. As it looks like Corona del Sol is going to exercise their second timeout, so both teams with one timeout left to go. 1:02 to go in the game. Corona del Sol with their backs against the wall now, as the stalling of their last drive really seemed to give the green light for Saguaro to take control of this clock and take control of what could be the outcome of the game as they look to deliver the dagger, as they're going to be positioned at the 3-yard line of Corona del Sol.
Fogo de Chao, Texas Roadhouse, Spinato's Pizzeria and Family Kitchen, Subway at Hayden and Indian.
Very curious to see how Saguaro is going to approach this situation here. First down and goal, you're on the 3-yard line, you still have a minute to go. You know, in any form of football, especially high school football, anything can happen. We haven't really seen Corona del Sol air out the ball very much, to no success at least, but it is still definitely a threat, as I'm pretty sure, as maybe some people saw earlier tonight, the game between Virginia Tech and the U, Miami, 7th ranked in the nation of college football. Game came all the way down to the wire, very last second, to what ended up being a dropped Hail Mary pass. Very close call to end that game, so anything is possible here. But definitely in the odds that Saguaro would like to see as they come out with kind of a bunch formation. And it's going to be kind of a pin and pull, and Elias Johnson's going to walk right in for a Saguaro touchdown as they're going to take this lead late with 1:07 to go in the game here at Saguaro High School. And now, pending the extra point, we are possibly looking at a 7-point game. But Corona del Sol still has a minute to go to operate and maybe get something going to create maybe a late game touchdown, a miraculous touchdown to try and tie this game up. As I said earlier, anything can happen, so don't count the Aztecs out just yet. And the PAT is going to be up and good for Saguaro. 7-point game, 35-28 in favor of Saguaro. 1:07 to go on the clock. The pressure is on for Luke Farrell and company as they take the field. Gotta imagine that stadium pulse is rocking for the Corona del Sol offense. We haven't really seen them air the ball out in pushing the field vertically very much in this game. Very curious to see how they're going to approach here. We've definitely saw them lean into their run game throughout the majority of the second half. So, gotta wonder what the approach is going to look like for Corona del Sol. And you got to imagine if Saguaro is going to maybe either drop back in coverage or maybe try and bring a little pressure in Luke Farrell's face. That has proved to be a kind of a success point for this defense, as they've really gotten in the face of Luke Farrell in the few times that he has dropped back to pass. 1:08 to go. It should be noteworthy that each team has one timeout to go. So only one option to stop the clock for Corona del Sol, just to add to their laundry list of adversity. As the kick is going to be fielded by Dominic Ruiz is going to cross the 30, 35-yard line. And a very nice return for the Corona del Sol offense to operate at.
Kickoff return by number 1, Dominic Ruiz. Forced out of bounds by number 25, Malachi Rivers.
Now Luke Farrell and company is going to be able to operate starting at the 38-yard line. Got a long way to go to the end zone. We are at 59 seconds to go. Each team has one timeout left to utilize. We are live here at Saguaro High School. This is the Varsity Sports Show. I'm Christopher Zavaios along with my crew, as Saguaro is going to exercise their last timeout right before this drive. They need to gather just a few more pointers for their defense. Like I said, I'm curious to see if they're going to come back and drop back in coverage, or if they're going to bring some pressure, as we have seen them do to the minimal times that Luke Farrell has dropped back in this game. This is definitely crunch time. Luke Farrell is rocking a 54% completion percentage coming into this game. Accuracy has proved to be somewhat of an issue for him here tonight. We've seen him miss a lot of throws high, but he hasn't really had a lot of opportunities to throw the ball. They've really leaned heavily on their run game, and they've really tried to take control of the line of scrimmage, possibly trying to own the clock, which actually turned out to be come back and bite him in the end, as Saguaro has been able to take advantage and take control of this game, as they were able to muster up a late touchdown to give them the lead and putting all the pressure on this Corona del Sol offense, who had 1,483 yards of offense heading into this game. But now they're going to go a double pass, and that's going to be caught. Hold on, Dominic Ruiz on the double pass, and that is going to go all the way. Hang on just a minute. Corona del Sol with a trick up their sleeve. Caught Saguaro's defense lacking. What a big play for Corona del Sol.
Correction, number 1, Dominic.
And that was a passing touchdown by Dominic Ruiz. I can tell you probably nobody but the play caller on Corona del Sol's side saw that coming.
By number 5.
What a turn of events here. Like I said before, at the tail end of that Saguaro drive, anything can happen. And barring an extra point, Corona del Sol could tie this up, and we could be looking at overtime here at Saguaro High School. $50 seconds to go, so maybe Saguaro could have a trick on their sleeve. But I am just floored by that turn of events. Corona del Sol just catching everybody and taking the breath out of this building here in Scottsdale, Arizona. Wow, what a play call. And my biggest question going into that drive was the capability of the traditional passing game for Corona del Sol. And they come out and they do a double pass play. Dominic Ruiz really found his man. It looked like it was just going to be a jet sweep play, but he sets his feet and fires it to his receiver for a long touchdown. And the defense bit as hard as they could on that jet sweep to try and thwart that. But Corona del Sol has caught some life, and pending this extra point here, or a 2-point play, this could be the deciding. This is the game. They are going for 2 here, but there is a penalty flag on the play, so hang on just a second. And that is going to be an illegal shift here. So Corona del Sol is not playing for overtime. They're playing to win the game here.
Penalty on Corona for illegal substitution.
Illegal substitution was the official call on that play. Backs them up 5 yards, and the offense is still going to stay out there. Roaring, "You can't do that" chants from the Saguaro student section. And in response, Corona del Sol is going to chant, "We can't hear you." Battle of the sections here. Energy is roaring here at this game at Saguaro High School. And now Corona del Sol is going to opt to kick the PAT. Brings down the drama just a little bit. Extra point is going to be up and good. So we are now tied.
Extra point attempt is good.
We are now tied at 35 now. 50 seconds to go. So a lot of time to operate here for a couple of quick throws for this Saguaro offense. No timeouts on either side, so it's just 50 straight seconds. Got to work a couple of out routes towards the sideline. Push the outside boundaries. Be ready to spike if you hit that middle part of the field and you are brought down in bounds. Maybe Saguaro is going to work a little bit more of their NASCAR-style offense, of what some coaches like to call that type of tempo offense. Interesting turn of events here at Saguaro High School. Corona del Sol gearing up to boot this one away. Unbelievable turn of events. And this kick is going to be up and off. And it'll be fielded. Return going to be taken outside, lowers his shoulder, and he's going to cross the 30-yard line of Saguaro. And that is where this effort is going to start for the SaberCats. Got to wonder if they're going to make a play or make a push to try and just end this game in regulation, or maybe just run it a couple times and go down to overtime. And the play clock is trickling down. I'm not too sure if they're going to notice on the Saguaro side, and it's going to be a delay of game. Now 1st and 10 for Saguaro. 43 seconds to go. Jones just going to run it himself, and he's going to get out of bounds after a gain of a couple. And there's a panic among the crowd here that the clock was still running.
Ruled inbounds on the play. Penalty on the play. False start on Saguaro. Still 2nd down.
Now Jones steps back to pass. He's going to look deep. He's going to air it out. Little too much mustard on that throw. And it's going to be picked off. Hold on. Corona del Sol has control of the ball. They have an open lane. Oh, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds. 4 seconds to go on the clock. Catastrophic turn of events for Saguaro. Four seconds to go on the clock. Corona del Sol has a chance to take this one in regulation. Unreal run here by Corona del Sol. And now they're going to hand the reins off to their kicker, who is going to try and kick a long field goal to try and put this one away.
On to attempt a 48-yard field goal.
48 yards is the official ruling. Overtime or a Corona win. The kick is up. It's got the distance, and it is good! Corona del Sol wins it in a thriller. And this Saguaro crowd is stunned. What a turn of events here at Saguaro High School. Saguaro had the lead with 50 seconds to go on the clock. Corona del Sol brings out a double pass play, and their star receiver, Dominic Ruiz, finds an open receiver. And he finds him, and they score. And in response, Marcel Jones makes his one lone mistake at the end of the game and throws an interception, giving Corona del Sol the opportunity to nail a long field goal and win this game. And that brings up our final score to 38-35. Corona del Sol steals one here in Saguaro High School, improving their record to 1-4 on the season, as Saguaro's going to drop down to 0-5. Unbelievable turn of events here. Unbelievable turn of events here. And Saguaro played for the vast majority of the game. Saguaro played very well, barring, with the exception of a lot of penalties. They really played a sound football game. And Corona del Sol just had a few tricks up their sleeve to just swipe the win from them at the finish line. And while I still sit here in shock, as I'm pretty sure a lot of our viewers are here with the Varsity Sports Show, what a turn of events here, as Corona del Sol is going to steal this win here at Saguaro High School, winning it 38-35 off the leg of their kicker to kick a 48-yard field goal to steal the win. I am Christopher Zavios here with the Varsity Sports Show. A big thank you to all of our viewers out here, and a big thank you to my wonderful crew, camera, production, and our field correspondent. This is the Varsity Sports Show, and don't forget to tune into our post-game show starting up in a little bit, and our 2 radio shows throughout the weekend. And thank you for joining us here tonight. I am Christopher Zavios. Have a good night, everybody. This was the Varsity Sports Show.